Hi, this is Skip Bayless, and thank you for listening to the Undisputed podcast. I just posted a personal story on my Facebook page. If you want to know what I'm really all about, what makes me tick, what made me me, you should read what I wrote about my upbringing. You should read about how I succeeded in spite of a mean-spirited drunk of a father and a mother who was too interested in herself to ever be much interested in me. You should read about my athletic achievements and my chokes. You'll find my story on my Facebook page. And now, let's get the show started.
Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. It's Friday. Good morning,
Why
guys.
did you say his name with a lot more
enthusiasm? I say his with more?
I mean, come on, Skip.
Come on, Shannon.
I think both had a lot
Shannon
of enthusiasm.
Sharpe. Yeah.
Skip Bayless.
Skip Bayless. That's Shannon Sharpe.
Yeah.
It's okay.
In other words,
it's
you
okay.
were trying to
Did it
skip.
that
It's okay.
He was
It's
trying to
okay.
skip over.
Yeah,
and
she
get
was,
to
and that's
Shannon.
okay. But would you allow me, please, to take 1 second
What?
to make one last plea to Jerry Jones? Please don't play a single starter at the Giants on Sunday. Please do not play
Ma'am.
Dak Prescott one snap.
He needs it.
Lose the game
He needs
and
the
let
reps.
everybody stay and get healthier. That's all. Period.
They
That's
need the
all?
reps.
We're good?
They need the reps.
They do not need you. You're going to have your voodoo doll out
I don't
poking
do
it.
that, Skip.
You are with
Only
Dak.
on special
You're going to have your
occasions.
number 4 voodoo doll. Pin.
Special occasion.
Am I right?
Only on special
Am I
occasions.
right? Yep. Okay.
Well,
here we go.
have a lot
Sorry
to
about
get
that.
to.
Now, on with the
Okay,
show.
today's show, did LeBron really deserve to be the athlete of the year? And
What?
do Skip
Yep.
Bayless's
What?
Sooners, was that better?
Yep, I like that, Jim.
Okay, I
Thank
tried to
you.
have a little more oomph there. Have any shot at upsetting
No.
Alabama? But let's start with the Lakers. They were without LeBron last night, and ESPN reports he could be out for several games with a strained groin. Back on the court, Kyle Koosman scored 33 points. Lonzo Ball was a rebound shy of a triple-double, but he had to leave late in the fourth with a leg cramp. The Lakers had a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter, but the Kings came all the way back, and Bogdan Bogdanovic hit a game-winning three at the buzzer. After the game, Luke Walton talked about playing without LeBron. Let's take a listen.
With him being hurt, this is the first close game we've been in that he's not there. If LeBron James is playing in that game, it probably finishes a little differently. But that's what we have to get. That's what our guys were doing last year. But when you get the best closer in the game on your team, then you rely on him to do that. But all that said, they still made enough. We made enough plays to win. We just didn't take care of little things, which has nothing to do with closing a game as far as being a closer.
Shannon, what happened to the Lakers last
I
night?
like on the way. I wouldn't have him to re-tee that, play that again.
Yep.
When you're playing without the best closer in that game.
The guy who failed to close at least 7
Stop
games
it,
so
Skip.
far this year. I don't know. I don't know who he's talking about. Lonzo? Maybe. I don't know.
Skip,
Go ahead.
can you stop?
Yeah.
How was that, Jenny? That's my Jenny impression.
Light.
We're here with Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
And
And Shannon Sharpe. Go ahead. Shannon Sharpe. The floor is yours. Shannon Sharpe.
You know what, Skip? Look, as Luke said, what happened was the things that got them the lead, playing with a frenetic pace, getting up and down, also cost them the game. You see, Skip, if they'd have had LeBron, I feel comfortable, like Luke said, they would have won this game. I believe if they'd have had Rondo, they would have won this game. Because, see, Skip, when you get in a situation like this, and that's what happened on Tuesday, the game started to get away from him, and Rondo calmed everything down. He's like, look, guys, let's take some air out of the ball. We don't need to shoot the ball with 15 seconds left on the shot clock. Let's work it down. Let's get a very good shot. And they didn't get some good shots at the end of the ball game. And as a young team, none of these players that were on the court last night had really been in this situation. Remember, Skip, they won 35 games last year. They won, 25, 26 the year before. So you have to be in those situations. Now, it was, Kyle Koosman is big time. That step back three showed you a lot about Kyle Koosman. Lonzo Ball was unbelievable. Sorry that he had to, you mean to tell me there's a possibility that a player could get a cramp? Lonzo Ball got a cramp. So you ought to are you telling me LeBron James is not?
Wait, like father, like son.
Don't do that.
Isn't Lonzo like LeBron's son?
No, he's not. Don't do that.
So daddy gets cramps all the time. I'm going to get a cramp.
You know, you see, Skip, and I think the thing is, if they'd have had someone that could have calmed them down and says, look, guys, this lead is starting to dissipate. We don't need to play with a frenetic pace. Because, see, a lot of times when you're young, Skip, you continuously do the things that got you to the point that where you are. What got him the lead? Getting the ball out to the rim. Lonzo was getting the ball in 2 dribbles, up the court, layup or dunk, or somebody was hitting a wide open shot. And as the lead starts to dissipate, you still want to play at that pace, a la the Atlanta Falcons. Now, we got the lead by throwing the ball up and down the field. Let's keep doing it. Nah, they're starting to come back. You probably want to take some air out of the ball.
Was Tom Brady playing for the Kings last night? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm
don't want
curious.
you to ask. I don't remember asking you a question.
Maybe he was disguised
It's not
as
your turn.
Bogdan Bogdanovic, right?
It's not your turn. The thing that I like some of the things that I saw. Skip, you saw Koosman. Koosman's big time. Brandon Ingram, he showed there at times that you like, okay, now I see why they talk about him. Because he can get the ball to the rack, Skip. He was pulling up the mid-range game, hit a couple of big threes. Lonzo was really, really impressive. I thought Lance came off the bench and gave him some great quality minutes. But as the game started to dissipate, there was not that old head, there was not that veteran presence that could run the offense and says, okay, guys, let's slow it down. Let's take some of the air out of the ball. Let's make sure we get quality shots. There were a lot of one-on-ones. There were still a lot of quick shots that were going up. And, Skip, I tweeted right before. I said, no threes. But, again, what did I tell you, Skip? And I've said this on several occasions. What will ultimately prevent the Lakers from being as good as they could possibly be? 6 turnovers in the fourth quarter. That'll do it. That would definitely, that'll do it.
How many did Lonzo have in the fourth?
Hold on. Does he play for the Lakers? Did the Lakers turn the ball over 6 times? See, I'm not going to let you do that.
He turned it over none.
Go
ahead.
I'm not going to let you separate and says, okay, well, Lonzo did this. He always 1 rebound short. No. He played for the Lakers. He caught the L, just like Ingram, just like Koosman, and the rest of the guys. The Lakers turned the ball over too much, and when the game started to get out of hand, the Kings started to fight their way back in it. There was not that veteran presence to slow things down, make sure they got great shots in the half-court set, and they ended up losing the game. A very valuable learning experience. But this is why you have a LeBron on your roster. The best closer in the game, as Luke Walton said. And if you didn't have Lonzo, if you didn't have Ron, you needed Rondo. But hey, they played, Skip. That was a tough one. This is going to be a tough one. This one hurts in the morning. This one hurts this morning because you played too well, Skip, to gag this game off.
So now that the show's almost over, Jenny, I'm going to talk, right? We have, 30 seconds left or what?
Okay. Take the time
is
you
Colin
need,
here
Skip.
Oh, no.
Man, I talked 4 minutes and 35 seconds.
I don't know.
You always do that.
So now that the show's almost over, I'm going to tell you what actually did happen in the game that I watched. This was a heartbreaker for the Lakers because they played well enough to win this game without LeBron James. And it was really cool that they started and, for the most part, played 5 draft picks. You just do not ever see that happen in the National Basketball Association. And all 5 of them had lots of big moments. They also had some low moments, but I'll get to those in just a minute. They are up 15 with 6:44 left in the basketball game at Sacramento. And I will remind you, Sacramento is now 10-7 at home. So they're no pushover the way they once upon a time were a pushover at home. So this would have been a quality win for the very young Lakers without LeBron James and without Rondo. Now, quickly back to Luke's comment. I do not blame Luke Walton at all for saying after the game that LeBron James is the best closer in basketball. He is not the best closer, not even close. And even recently, let's just go back to last Sunday night at Staples Center. What happened? Memphis was there. Memphis isn't even in the playoffs right now. And that game was tied at 91-all early in the fourth quarter. And the best closer in basketball, big quotes around it, failed to close yet another game. And that to me, was the 8th game this year he could have closed for the Lakers.
So you got to go. So in order for you to be a great closer, you got to go 100%. Now, Mariano Rivera is the greatest closer that ever lived. Did he go 100%? Because I remember Game 7, he gave up the game
Let's
when he hit.
Let's not compare baseball to
I'm just
basketball.
Okay.
Now, what happened? With 1 minute and 42 seconds left, Lonzo Ball cramped for the second time in this game because he cramped late in the third quarter also and had to leave the game for the rest of the game, or the Lakers would have won this basketball game. Lonzo had them on the precipice of winning with a breakaway layup that put them up 3 with 1:42 left, and he was doing exactly what you wanted LeBron and Rondo to do. He was running the show.
Tempo.
He was controlling it and getting the ball to the right places at the right times. The only thing I don't like about the young Lakers, Lonzo is quicker to pass than either LeBron or Rondo are in his own way. He'll just sometimes, if he sees you moderately open, 2/3 of the court, he'll pass it up to you.
Right.
What I don't like about the young Lakers is that Koosman or Brandon Ingram or Josh Hart or any of those young guys, even KCP, even though he's not a young guy, if you pass it to them, the ball is just going to get shot. They do not share the ball at all. It is hero ball all over the court. And I loved it that Lonzo stepped up after the game and took a little shot. You could say it's a veil shot, but he said, we played too much ISO ball tonight. And they do. If Kyle Koosman gets the ball in the wing, what's going to happen?
He's shooting the drive. He going.
And again, a lot of times he makes those high degree of difficulty shots. A lot of times Brandon Ingram forces one in. I say, how did he do that? And it goes in, and I say, that's pretty good. But it wasn't good in the fourth quarter because they got outscored 33-21 in the fourth quarter. And after Lonzo went out, they just fell completely apart. And now to your guy, Kyle Koosman. You said he played great last night. He made 2 big mistakes down the stretch that could have closed the deal if he had not made those mistakes. And the first one comes with a minute left. He just, after a loose ball rebound, it kicks out to Justin Jackson, and he's from 3, and you can't jump into him. You just can't.
Come on.
You just can't. Not in a close game like that. You gave him 3 free throws. They are as free as you can get, and he stepped right up to the line, and to his credit, he made all 3 of them, something most Lakers can't do. But that was a crucial turning point in the game. And then with 18 seconds left, if we could say that, I don't want to see that anymore. With 18 seconds left, watch, tell me, look, that's like a layup, right? Yeah. That's a right-handed layup for Kyle Koosman. If you make that, I think they're going to close the deal. Just make that. I don't know, he fell away like I'm going to get fouled.
And that's the difference, Skip. Yeah. You got to go with authority. You got to go with purpose.
Just go up.
Yes.
Yeah, and even Luke brought up in his postgame, he said, we're complaining about not getting calls, and we're standing around while they're running down the court, and they're getting too many breakaways.
Dude, you in your second or third year, Skip. You're not getting calls like James Harden can get those calls.
Okay, now, to my guy, Lonzo Ball. I told you yesterday at the end of the show, he was on the hot seat last night. He is up against his nemesis, De'Aaron Fox, who humiliated him in that NCAA game in Memphis. Remember the second round game?
Yep.
And De'Aaron Fox is obviously a little quicker and a lot faster, not a lot, but a little faster than Lonzo. And it's a hard matchup for Lonzo, even though Lonzo's 6'7" to 6'3" for De'Aaron Fox. Lonzo Ball took the challenge. He answered the bell last night, and he played what I would call a transcendent basketball game. I know you hate that word, but that was the Laker broadcast or telecast had him with a triple-double, but somehow one rebound got taken away. I don't know what happened.
It ended up like a steal. It thought it was a rebound, but it was a steal.
I don't know.
But I like, Skip, to take the piggyback off what you said. The thing that I like most about Lonzo's game, he attacked De'Aaron Fox.
He looked like he was in control. He was aggressive.
I'm going to the rack on you, buddy.
Right. His body looks different, and now his whole body language looks different because he said, this is my show tonight. This is my game. And he went for 29. I thought it was 10, but 29 rebounds and 12 assists. He had 2 steals. He had only 2 turnovers against De'Aaron Fox.
Live with that.
And he outplayed De'Aaron Fox, who had a bad shooting night, actually. He went up with 15 points. But remember, Lonzo shot 8 for 13. And by the way, Lonzo Ball last night made 4 of 6 3-pointers. Shouldn't that be good enough to win the basketball game?
Yes.
And again, I thought it was, except for the cramp. But the biggest takeaway for me from last night was Lonzo Ball showed you, it's still, just in his second year, he's still a very young man.
Yes.
He showed you the potential to be a great player, to me, a great player. And I know you don't see greatness in him. That was greatness. That young man, at some point in his career, can average a triple-double. If he takes over his team, and I don't know if it's ever going to work in L.A. because of LeBron and Rondo, and I don't know what they're doing. Are they going to trade for AD? I don't know. Is Lonzo Ball going to wind up a Pelican at some point? He might. I don't know. What did his father say? Tell TMZ the other night.
Need anyone?
We don't need any other people.
Right.
People.
We're good.
So AD's just a person, right? He's just a person.
Yeah, teams are not turning down transcendent guys, Skip.
Okay. All right.
If you get a chance to trade for him.
So he is. I mean, I give you AD is transcendent, at least in the statistical columns, not in the win column yet. But again, that was a big-time basketball game by Lonzo Ball that should have been won, and why he cramped, I don't know. They asked him after the game, have you cramped before? And he said he cramped once in Summer League. I don't know what causes cramps. Sometimes stress can. Sometimes you just don't hydrate enough, as you know. Sometimes you hydrate with the wrong liquid. Sometimes it can be any kind of, your body can react poorly to stress.
Well, I was a guy, Skip. I didn't like a whole lot of liquid in my stomach because I felt it sloshing around, and so I had a problem.
I understand.
I had a problem cramping also. But I still would like to see Lonzo get to the free throw line, Skip. He didn't shoot any free throws last night. And I think as a point guard, you should at least shoot at least 2 to 3 a game, Skip. Now, granted, he's not a Russ Westbrook type guy or Kyrie that's going to get to the bucket like that. But you got to get it. I mean, no free throws?
Okay.
And I thought he played well. And Skip, to piggyback what you said, there was a lot, especially down the stretch. The guys, be it Ingram, be it Koosman, I'm going to be the guy to get us over the hump. So you see a lot of hero ball. You see a lot of one-on-one trying to get to the rack. At that point in time, that's when you probably need, and see, that's what, what we give, a lot of people give LeBron flack for, as opposed to him like, I'm going to take over, I'm going to show you what I can do. He's like, nah, I'm going to get the team involved. I'm going to bring everybody along to make sure we get good shots. Some of those shots last night down the stretch were not good shots. They were shots, but not good shots. And I'm sure Luke was telling them, yeah, guys, those are we can get better shots. They might have been good shots, Skip, but we could get better to great shots. And in those situations, and when you're on the road and the momentum starts to swing, they start to feel confident. The basket gets a little bigger. The crowd gets into the game. And then, you're like, oh, man, here we go again.
Yeah, and listen, Bogdanovich can really shoot it, but he went somewhere else in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
He's like in his own twilight zone.
Yeah.
So if that happens, you're probably going to be in trouble. But speaking of Brandon Ingram, he did have a free throw that could have at least guaranteed overtime, and he missed the second one.
Free throws and turnovers.
There you go. And you can't do that.
Nope.
And by the way, Brandon Ingram, do I like him, but I can't love him? To your point, I think you don't love him yet either, and he went 0 for 3 in the fourth quarter. So he had his moments to rise and shine where you say, that's what he's made of. And I know this is a very small sample size, but this is the one where daddy's gone. LeBron can't play tonight.
Right.
So how do the kids play? And I thought maybe he would let Lance try to close the game, let some veteran be on the floor instead of B.I., but he let the kids close it with Tyson Chandler obviously anchoring. But again, Brandon Ingram came up pretty small in the fourth quarter.
I thought he should have played Lance more because I thought Lance played well. The minutes that he got, he played a little less than 20 minutes, had 10 points. But he's a playmaker, Skip. Yeah, I know he's phonetic and he got a lot of herky-jerky in him, Skip, but he's a playmaker. He's always trying to make the right play, and he made some good passes last night.
He's played in a whole bunch of big games, big stage games against LeBron James. So you can trust him down the stretch to make some key positive plays as well as negative plays.
But Skip, when Kuz hit that step back three.
That was big.
Now, he's feeling good, so now he feels everything he puts up is going to go in.
Okay. All right.
You
got to put up a right-handed layup and make it like you believe it.
But you got to, But, Skip, that's his shot, though. If you notice, he does a lot of that little floater kiss off the glass, going towards right. But in that moment, go hard to the paint. Go hard to the rack.
That's probably the easiest shot he had all night, and he missed it. I don't know. So here we come back home. I've been telling you all year, the Clippers are just a little better than the Lakers, and their record is a little better than the Lakers. I don't think they can beat the Clippers at their home away from home staples that they share, obviously. So they got 4 straight home games now, and I'm going to guess off the ESPN report, let's just say Magic's sitting back thinking, okay, I got 4 home games. 2 of them are very winnable. Maybe we should let LeBron rest through the homestand. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, through the week. So that's what I would think. So they got Clippers, then they got Sacramento coming to them on Sunday, then they got Oklahoma City on Wednesday, and then they got the Knicks on Friday. I could see them winning 2 of those games. I don't think they can beat the Clippers or Oklahoma City. That's just me.
Well, and I said this, Skip, if I'm going to err on the side of caution, if LeBron thinks he feels good, take another 3 days. because you don't want this thing to linger. You don't want to be in a situation where every other game you're worried about LeBron is day-to-day with that groin injury.
Yep.
Let it go ahead and completely heal. He's in uncharted territory because he doesn't know what it's like to have a muscle injury, a hamstring, quad, groin. So he doesn't know what it's like. All he does I've never been injured before. But these things, especially as you start to age, they can linger, and you don't want them to linger. If I'm the Lakers, I'm not worried about this 4-game home stretch. I'm not even thinking about playing LeBron until, maybe 2 weeks.
So was his tweet was it 2 days ago, was that overreaction then when he said, dodged a bullet, sheesh?
Yeah, because it could have been torn off the bone and he'd been gone for 2 or 3 months.
Back in no time, hashtag back in no time?
No
Is
time.
that right?
Well, here's the thing, Skip. The guy had played like 100 all these games straight, all these playoffs, logged all these minutes. He doesn't like missing time. And he knows they're counting on him because he's that chamomile tea. Remember I told you, Skip, that lavender. He's that calming, that soothing effect, like Vicks Vapor Rub. Skip,
Really?
you've been...
That's the first time LeBron's ever been compared to chamomile.
Yeah, he's
Right?
soothing.
Yeah.
What's up?
Soothing? He's the drama king.
Stop
He's
it.
upsetting.
Last night, you wish you had him.
Well, he probably was pretty happy they lost.
No, you stop it, Skip. Why would you do that?
I don't know. He probably sat back and said, well, at least I
No,
got
no.
He probably was going to tweet, dodge that bullet.
What you
right?
try to Skip. In order to
Jenny liked that. She liked that.
What you try to
I don't
do.
get introductions, but I get a little.
It's
okay.
No,
I
Skip.
didn't realize
I'm
this was a
kidding.
thing.
Yeah, I didn't either, Jenny.
Okay,
I didn't.
now good to
Here's
know.
the thing, Skip. As a veteran player, what you try to do is that you try to impart wisdom and give them tools that they can go on that when you're not there, they can do the things.
I agree. And you know what? To your point, I'm going to give you this from my heart. I'm not sarcastic about this. LeBron has really rubbed off on this team, and I could see it all over the floor last night. They were all playing with more confidence and conviction than they were a year ago, in part because they're just growing
Look
up.
at Lonzo.
Okay.
That might have been that might have been Lonzo, even though
It
he
was
had a
his
triple
best game.
he had
It
a
was his best
triple-double
game.
against Charlotte,
He did.
Skip, but this was his best game.
It was, all things considered, with the pressure on him against De'Aaron Fox, that was his best professional basketball game. Way to go, Lonzo.
But he'll be back.
Yeah.
That old chamomile tea, he'll be back in no time.
Maybe Lonzo needs to drink some chamomile.
No, for
Stop
what?
those cramps.
Them little calves. How them little calves crap up?
Too little?
Yeah, them little
Beat those
calves.
calves
Yeah, them
up.
little calves crapped up.
Oh my gosh. So LeBron, athlete of the year.
What?
Athlete of the year.
So is this a joke?
Athlete.
It's official. It's official. Skip and Shannon have some different opinions on if he
say.
deserved it. We'll tell you about it next.
Deserved.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here. More of the Undisputed podcast is on the way. But first, a quick word from one of our sponsors. UFC bantamweight TJ Dillashaw loves the fight, loves the strategy, and you know what else he loves? Toyo tires. Because like Dillashaw, Toyo tires are as tough as they come, and they are the official tire of the UFC. There's a lot to love about Toyo tires. Aggressive design, proven on and off-road capabilities, tires for any weather, and the toughness to back it all up. We all know there's nothing worse than being stranded on the side of the road with a faulty tire. There's a confidence that comes with tough tires. So no matter what you're driving, no matter where you're driving, you can count on Toyo tires. Tough people love tough tires. If you're tough, these are the tires for you. Toyo tires. So the next time you need tires, ask for Toyo, the official tire of the UFC. Learn more at toyotires.com/UFC. Now, back to the show.
No mercy.
King James has been named the Associated Press Male Athlete of the Year. And what a year it's been. He opened a school for at-risk children in Akron, started a documentary series called Shut Up and Dribble, made it to his 8th straight NBA Finals, and moved across the country to join one of the most storied franchises in history, the Lakers. It's the 3rd time LeBron has won the award, joining Lance Armstrong, Tiger Woods, and Michael Jordan. Shannon, did LeBron deserve this award?
More than deserved it.
Really?
More than.
Well, how did Mookie Betts get any votes?
He
got
didn't
him.
get enough.
He
Didn't get enough. Bron got him.
Yeah.
See, Skip, but I know what y'all try to do. Well, he didn't win this. I hear everything. I told you I'm omniscient. I'm all-knowing.
So
I know what
you're all Twitter.
I know what you retweeted. I know what you retweeted.
Yeah, because you got that burner account.
Don't worry about what I got.
Yeah.
Look, I get it. It's very unpopular because he didn't win the NBA Finals. He wasn't an MVP. Yada, yada, yada. Mookie Betts won the MVP.
Yada, yada?
Yeah.
Okay.
But LeBron James
Yeah.
moves the needle, Skip Bayless.
Well, he does do that. I
Set
give you
career high in rebounds and assists. Led the team to the NBA. Skip, let me ask you a question. I think early on, everybody thought the Boston Red Sox was going to the World Series and win it. Where was the suspense in that? I mean, LeBron James took the Cleveland. Now, this is what we know. The Cleveland Cavaliers, as I speak to you currently, are the worst team in the NBA. Last year, they were the NBA Finals. They lost one player.
Have they had Kevin Love?
Whoa, Skip.
No.
Okay, my bad.
Is he their best player?
Hold on,
Yes, he is.
hold on.
Thank you.
If they had
Next question.
If they had Kevin Love, they'd be the second worst team in the NBA. But currently, since they don't have him, they're the worst team. He opened I Promise, the school for third and fourth graders. I think it's 250 students that get breakfast, they get lunch, they get the tools that they need. They help their parents get help in getting jobs and getting education if they don't have high school diplomas.
Yep.
And I think they help them get college degrees. He goes to the Los Angeles Lakers, Skip, one of the two or three most storied franchises in all of basketball. And you know what's around them. Skip Bayless, Mookie Betts walked down the street. You know who he is? Outside of Boston. He walked down the street. You know who he is?
So that disqualifies you from being male athlete of the year. If people don't recognize you, you're
Skip
disqualified.
Bayless, you make it seem like LeBron is a chump. Like LeBron is
chump?
Yeah.
I didn't say
You
that.
know, you talking about, I cannot believe LeBron James.
I haven't even spoken
Yeah,
yet.
but you keep oohing and ahhing every time I say something. Because, look, hold on, Skip.
Ooh.
Don't do that.
Ah.
Yeah, and that's what AP.
Yeah.
The third time he's won the award.
He
with the likes
deserved
of
it the other times.
Stop it.
Yeah.
There's some times he didn't get it that he deserved it. You're just upset that fanboy didn't get it. Golly gee whiz, oh my goodness, I'm gonna retire today, guys. Oh no, back to work. Nope, he didn't
That's
get it.
funny.
He didn't get any votes.
He got you on that one.
No, LeBron got that trophy. He and I were talking last night while he was rehabbing.
Really?
Yeah, I congratulated him.
Really?
Yeah,
He
said,
rehab at your place?
Nope. He was up there in Brentwood on the rooftop having some wine.
It looked
Yeah.
like a nice setup there.
Yeah, nice little setup.
Little cigar.
Wine, a fire.
Yeah, he deserved
Yep.
it. If you're just gonna base it on who wins the title and in what sport, because think about it, Patrick Mahomes got votes.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes, what did he win?
I thought you loved Patrick Mahomes.
I love him.
Now
but
you don't love him. Well, now he's disqualified because
Why
he's
do you-
just Patrick Mahomes.
No, I'm just asking you a question, Skip. All I'm saying is that I'm sure there's more to it than just whether or not you won a title, whether or not you're the MVP. I'm sure there's a lot of voting, a lot of that goes into it. What did you do in your particular sport? What did you do off the field? So I don't know all the criteria, but it's hard for me to believe that there was someone more deserving than LeBron James.
So, my turn?
Yes.
So, if we want to call this award or rename it the Needle Mover of the Year, I'll give it to LeBron. I might give it to him every single year.
No.
Seriously.
No.
If we want to call it Humanitarian of the Year in sports, boy, it's hard to beat LeBron.
Right.
If we want to call it the Social Justice Speaker of the Year, Spokesman of the Year.
I'm sure all that weighs in.
All right. Well, if it does, I give you some of that. But it is still called the Athlete of the Year, right?
So Mookie Betts a better athlete than LeBron?
What would that have? Did he perform better than LeBron did this year?
Oh, did he?
Well, his team won it all, right? And
But he
was
wasn't. But he wasn't the
force.
World Series MVP.
No, but he was.
A guy that only played.
Hey.
How long did the guy? I don't even know the guy. Pierce. That was the World Series MVP. That's who Mookie Betts lost to now. Oh, okay. I'm just checking.
So, speaking of the NBA Finals, last time I checked, LeBron got swept again in the NBA Finals. And I'm sorry, I'm going to have to bring it up again because AP brought it up. They brought up this award. Game 1, NBA Finals, your Cleveland Cavaliers featuring LeBron James, having one of his best games of his career up until those last few seconds of the game. He did something that disqualified himself from Athlete of the Year. He completely quit on his team before. Yes, he did. He pouted. He slumped. He went over, sat 10 feet away from his team in the timeout before overtime started.
He right there.
Yeah, he's 10 feet away.
He ain't no 10 feet.
Well, JR is being ostracized. He's 10 feet from the huddle.
I
He's
don't
at
see-
least, you know
hold
what?
on.
LeBron might be 20 feet from the huddle.
I don't see.
Look at that.
I don't see Tristan Thompson.
Okay, if you're going to do that, and then he clearly pouted when the game started up again. Remember, you're tied with Golden State in Game 1. You have a chance to steal Game 1, and it's starting
You
all
should've
over in
stolen it.
overtime. And guess what? LeBron James refused to shoot for the first 2.5 minutes of. Did he take a shot?
No.
He did not. Was he as hot as we've ever seen him, especially from distance in that game?
Was he
Yes.
forcing any shots to be that
Okay,
hot?
well, I'm just saying he didn't take a shot in the first 2.5 minutes of overtime, and when he finally shot the ball, they were already down 7 and the game was over. And you can't do that and be the male athlete
Why
of the
not?
year. I'm sorry, because that's a pivotal moment. That's a watershed turning point
What
moment.
about those pivotal moments in Toronto? What about those pivotal moments against the Celtics
This was
or
the
Indiana?
NBA Finals.
Oh, so nothing else matters.
And then, by the way, he did come to the Lakers, and they have played a bunch of games that counted in 2018.
Yeah.
And I don't think LeBron has played all that well, given how high his bar has been raised. Because I'm going to say it again, there are at least 7 games he should have closed that he did not
Yeah,
close.
nobody's going to be 7 for 7.
Okay.
Kyrie, you say Kyrie's the best closer. Well, then why did Kyrie let him losing all them games at the end?
More than ever, LeBron James has become a liability at the late game, close game free throw line. You know that.
So
and
that
I
should
know
disqualify him.
Okay, well, it's just another reason. Like, hold on just a second. So let's go to Drew Brees. Did he not have an extraordinary year this year in pro football?
He's not going to be the MVP either.
Okay, is he not one of the great humanitarians in
Yes.
the history of sports?
Yes.
He does not publicize it. He does not Instagram it. He does not tweet about it. He does not have a PR team beating the bushes every day trying to get everybody to focus on all of his
LeBron doesn't
contributions.
either.
I think it comes across that way.
No, it
LeBron's very skilled. He's a shrewd operator when it comes to public relations.
The man opened a school.
Okay, so he opened the I Promise School, and I give you that, and it was great. But it also serves 2 purposes, if we can just be completely honest, because he was leaving his home area, which was no small thing. It was harsh. I thought he was just going to finish his career.
Yeah, a lot
in
of people that
Cleveland.
leave it don't leave nothing behind.
But he left it for Hollywood, and it's a little bit of a low blow to all those Cavalier fans.
Man, stop it,
Okay,
Skip.
well, was it not?
No.
You don't think a lot of them were hurt over that? So he leaves the I Promise School. So it did serve a little bit as a PR tool for him.
I
right?
think it left something. He always
Okay.
wanted to do something for his community. This is a symbol that says, although I've left, I might not be here, but my roots will always
Okay,
be
good.
here.
And also, he's turned it into something of a LeBron museum because he sends all of his memorabilia there.
Yeah.
So it serves 2 purposes.
Yes.
And I'm not condemning it. I'm just saying let's keep it in some perspective.
The perspective
Okay.
is, Skip, when those kids, think about it, Skip, LeBron didn't have this. He had no role models that he could you know what?
Okay,
I want to
got
try
it.
to be that.
Okay, I got it. Now, this is my personal 2 cents, and I brought it up the other day, and I'm going to bring it up again just in this context. I have said for years on national TV that LeBron is the best role model in sports. I rescind that because I don't know what's happened to him over the last 2 years, but he decided to become more of an anti-hero to me. He decided he wanted to be more of a rapper type of a figure to kids because his language has just gone, so to speak, straight to hell.
You don't think the kids that look up LeBron, you don't think their parents curse?
I don't know, but here's what I'm sure they do, but they're not role models. You know, they're
They
not
should
LeBron.
be.
Okay, well, I agree with that, but LeBron has been viewed as a role model. He drops F-bombs like crazy. Even in post games, he drops F-bombs. He drops the SH word like crazy. At least he sheeshed on Twitter the other day. But usually in the post-game interview, it's just SH.
I know a guy that drops a lot of F-bombs on social media too, Jenny. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I believe
He
I do.
has a method called TB12, but I don't hear anybody talking about him. He got a potty mouth, and he's not a role model, and he drops F-bombs and SOBs going left and right.
I have not once ever said on TV that Tom Brady was a role model. Not one time.
But
I don't
is
think he ever pretended to
Let me
be
ask you a
one.
question. Is he viewed as such?
I don't know. I don't. I'm not
talking about you.
Okay? I think Drew Brees is a role model, and he would never, ever drop an F-bomb in a post-game interview. He just wouldn't do it.
He might not
I think
curse.
Larry Fitzgerald is a great role model.
Yeah.
He might be at the top of my list
Yeah.
now. Would he ever curse in any sort of public forum? He just wouldn't do
No,
it.
I curse
Okay?
enough for him. You don't need to curse.
Okay, well, fine. So what do kids who look up to LeBron, when they drop the F-bomb in their household and the parent says, you can't say that word, and they turn to the parents and say, LeBron says it all the time. What is the parent supposed to say?
LeBron don't play no bills here. I'm your mom and I'm your daddy. Now pick that tooth up.
All right, but again, I can't give him role model because he likes to quote the rap lyrics on Instagram.
It's AP Male Athlete of the Year, and Serena won it for the females too.
Okay, great. She deserved it, like Runaway deserved it.
Well, she ain't win no majors.
I'm not so
she
sure
didn't win
about
any
LeBron.
majors.
Well, I don't know. Okay, so what?
She did come back from pregnancy, almost dying.
Okay,
and they got the finals.
So does it have to? Does it require a backstory? Does it require sort of a subplot to help you win? Does it help to have a narrative? You always tell me you don't like the narrative. Like Drew Brees has never won MVP, and he's going on, what is he, almost 40 years? He turns 40 in January, right?
Correct.
So should narrative count in the MVP voting this year in pro football? Well, you say no, it shouldn't, right?
No.
So that's different to you.
But not in voting, but in sports, narratives matter. We got to tell us, Skip, it's not good enough for me to tell you it's going to be 17-14. I need a narrative. I need a story. How are we going to get to 17-14? Who is going to do something in the 17-14? That's the story that I got to tell. And the story of LeBron James.
So would you disagree if Drew Brees had been named Male Athlete of the Year? Would that count? Would that qualify on all fronts?
I think he's won the award. Has he won it?
I don't know.
Skip, it's all this special. 3 times? Think about the guys that have won it.
Yeah.
Jordan, Tiger, and that old cheat, Lance Armstrong. Knew he was a cheat. He should disqualify. We got to take those away.
I think they are. Yeah, they're taken away.
So we can't mention him.
Has Michael Jeffrey Jordan ever qualified as a role model or a humanitarian or a social justice spokesman? No.
He's a role model to a lot of basketball players, Skip Bayless, because you know they want their shoe and they want that brand.
Strictly on the court in the basketball context, period, end of the story.
Yes.
So he had no backstory. He had no narrative.
Right.
He had no subplot where you could say, well, he also does that off the court. Nope, he didn't do anything off the court. In fact, he shunned doing anything off the court.
Well, Skip, there was not social media like
That
it
is
is now.
correct.
Yeah.
And then there was the narrative. Oh, he had to overcome the bad boy Pistons. Oh, he had to come the Big 3 Celtics.
Well, he did.
Oh, he had. So there was a narrative.
And
he left to give up to play pro baseball because that's what he promised his dad that he would do.
Yep.
So there was always a narrative around him.
That was baloney.
Why did we know?
Well, I'm being honest.
I'm just saying the narrative that was out there, Skip.
Okay.
We know certain things that everybody don't not privy to, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
Can I tell the story?
You did.
Okay, thank you.
You already did. Thank you.
Look at LeBron. Isn't he nice? Mookie Betts, like you tell me.
Look at him with those glasses.
How about look like how we might have got them from old slave land, LeBron.
Oh, okay.
But anyway,
Are you going to grow a beard?
No.
No.
Anyway, Skip. You know what? Mookie Betts can win it next year. We'll let him win it next year.
Okay, maybe Drew Brees will win.
You guys didn't give Ovechkin any love either. He
Oh,
brought
oh,
the cup.
Oh,
to
Jenny had to get a hockey reference in the show.
I mean, he brought the cup.
Yeah, because
to
he
the
got
Capitals.
he missing a tooth like somebody else we know.
Yep.
Multiple teams, unfortunately. Drew Brees, guys,
That was
did
an
win
inside
it
reference.
in 2010.
Super won it in 2010?
Yeah,
Good for him.
after the Super
Well, then he's done.
So just
That's
so you
it.
know, it
He-
has
he,
been
He can't
done.
win it again.
Yeah.
He won it once, and he's Drew
Whoa,
Brees.
whoa, Skip. Why would you do that? See, you always trying to undermine my guy. Now, see, I heap praise on Tom.
I don't
Tom has won it.
I just can't get over that he lost. He got swept in the final. He didn't just lose.
It happens.
And he's the athlete of the year. Really?
Magic, there's a lot of great guys that got swept in finals.
Okay, but they didn't win the athlete of the year.
Is Magic Johnson a great basketball player? Got swept. Kareem.
Did LeBron win it the year they broke through and stole the finals from
Well,
Draymond?
he did.
Yeah, okay.
As a matter of
I'll
fact,
give him that one.
You know what, Skip?
You deserve that
Skip,
one.
As a matter of fact, you know what?
What?
He did win it.
Yeah.
All right.
No mercy.
Dak Prescott. The Cowboys, well, they're riding high, heading into their last game on the road against the Giants Sunday on Fox. Although Dak has had an up and down season, the Cowboys still won the NFC East and are locked in as the number 4 seed. Dak can become a free agent after next season, and Jerry Jones said earlier this season that he'll get an extension. Well, former Cowboy Darren Woodson chimed in saying this: "You've got to pay the man. I'm not a Dak apologist because I don't think he's accurate enough with the football. I wish he could play 4 quarters of error-free football, but you're not going to get that with Dak Prescott. But what you are going to get is a leader of men. You're going to get a guy who this Cowboys team firmly believes in. When he's on the sideline, they believe in him. I can't say the same thing about Tony Romo. when he was here a few years ago. He has that it factor about him, and that's the reason why Jerry is going to pay him. Yeah, he has a lot of warts, but because of his confidence, because of his competitiveness, we're going to be able to cover up those warts at some point, and he's going to be a championship quarterback. That was a lot. Shannon, does Dak deserve to be one of the highest paid QBs?
He deserves to be paid. And if you look at all the other guys, Skip Bayless, I think Dak deserves to be paid somewhere in that $25 to $28 million range. For me, Skip, I think he's a middle-of-the-road quarterback, and I've said this on several occasions. I think he's a good quarterback. I don't think he's tier 1. I don't think he's elite. I think he's somewhere between 12 and 15. I can get to, off the top of my head, 10 quarterbacks easy that I'm taking in front of Dak Prescott. And I don't think you would disagree with, a lot. Well, you would, just because. But anyway, I think the thing is we have a body of work on Dak. So he's 48 games into his career. He has 2 division titles. I think that's a larger body of work than what people have on Jimmy Garoppolo, and they gave him $27 million.
Okay.
Alex Smith got $23 million. He's a little longer.
Yep.
So I don't have a problem, Skip, with them paying him. The question is, and I think with everybody, and I don't want to get into semantics, well, this, the position of quarterback and yada, yada, yada. The question is Jerry going to give him the 25 to 28, which is the not upper level, but it's the upper level of the quarterbacks, or does he fall in that range, $20 million to $22, $23 million, the Alex Smith range? I think Dak Prescott deserves, and Skip, I'm one of his harshest critics because, like I said, I think there are times that he turns the ball over too much. I think he holds the ball too long, and you hear, he said accuracy. If you notice, when everybody talks about Dak Prescott, Skip, what the first thing come out is that A word, and not the bad one. They talk about his accuracy, So Troy said it.
You've called him all kinds of
No, I'm calling about it. No, don't do that, Skip. So do I think he deserves to be paid? Yes, I think he deserves to get $25, $28 million a year. But where I'm going to push back on Darren Woodson, where I'm going to disagree with him, is that I believe those guys in our locker room did believe Tony Romo that could bring them through anything. And the thing was, Skip, the difference is that what you love so much about Tony Romo is what you despised about him. Because his risk-taking. He had no conscience. Like you said, the game that perfectly illustrates that. He's playing a flawless game against the Denver Broncos about 5 years ago, Skip. He's flawless. Beyonce would be proud of him. Flawless. He woke up like that.
True.
507 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yep.
Ooh, he gonna win the game. It's a tie ball game, Skip. Tony Romo gonna ride off in the sunset, and everybody's gonna remember the game. Just like you remember the Alamo, remember the Titan.
This was the Alamo. That's what happened. It was the Alamo.
And Skip Bayless, he had his part. He was all good. I can imagine how he was.
I was happy.
I didn't know he was. And then all of a sudden, he hit the floor.
Threw it right to Danny Trevathan.
Ernest, can you believe what he did?
Danny Trevathan wears an orange-colored jersey, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Skip, Tony Romo has the 17th most comebacks in NFL history. So I do believe that his teammates believe that no matter how far they were behind, Tony Romo could bring them back. And so I'm going to push back on D. Wood with that one.
He did play with him briefly.
Yes,
Darren did.
yes,
So he
yes.
has a pretty good
But
vibe.
here's the thing, but when he played with him, Tony was just coming. He was really, really young, really, really raw. That wasn't towards the end, Tony Romo that could do the miraculous thing that he could spin around. Remember, J.J. Watt had him for a sack, and he spun around, got up out of it, and threw a touchdown, and everybody was loving him. But I believe Dak deserves to be paid somewhere between $25 and $28 million. His large body of work lets you know what you're getting. You know exactly what you're getting with him, Skip. You're not going to get Mahomes in the 48 touchdowns. You're not going to get a guy that throws 40 touchdowns. That's not who he is. But you know what you're going to get with Dak Prescott, and I do believe he deserves to be compensated.
So, I don't know what top dollar is, but whatever top dollar is, Dak Prescott has earned it. He
30 plus million is top dollar. You believe that?
30 plus. Whatever it is, whatever the market bears, that's what he deserves. He will win a championship for the Dallas Cowboys. And I don't just agree with what my friend Darren Woodson said. I've said all the same things over and over and over again on this show. Dak Prescott's intangibles, which I've tried to explain to you, are at least as strong, if not stronger, than his tangibles. I'm with you all along. I never fight back on this. He's not a great thrower of the football. He's not the most accurate thrower of the football. Sometimes he holds the ball too long. It's his Achilles heel. Sometimes he drives me a little crazy with the sack fumbles. And yet, in the end, his intangibles overcome all of the above because he is a leader of men and he fuels that football team. And that football team does believe in Dak Prescott.
Some of the best leaders, Skip, can't play. So you want a guy that can play, or you want a guy that has leadership skills? Because at the end of the day, it comes down, can he play?
All I know is you say Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thrower of the football ever. And I have 3 times watched Dak Prescott outplay Aaron Rodgers. And I can show you the numbers. He didn't win the game 2 of those times, but it wasn't his fault because he outnumbered Aaron Rodgers throwing the football. Well, that's what I'm saying. And as a raw rookie 4th-round draft pick in his first ever playoff game, he threw for 300 yards against Aaron Rodgers and 3 touchdowns, and he brought that team back from 21 to 3 down in a playoff game to 31 all. And I believe that Romo's teams never thought he could do that. That was pretty great. And to your point, body of work, step back. Dak Prescott has led this team to 2 division championships in just 3 years. Yeah. And I'm going to remind you, a year ago, the Zeke suspension hung over this team the whole long year. And not only did it trouble and affect and distract the football team, but finally, mid-year, he's gone for 6 games. Who knows what might have happened if you removed that cloud from that football team last year.
But you had Dak, so it shouldn't have mattered. Okay. It shouldn't have mattered. Well, I mean, he's a leader of men. He's the guy. You're going to pay him $30+ million. Zeke should be inconsequential in this discussion.
They still went 9-7 last year, which was pretty great. And he had the 4th best QBR in the league after, and you gave him an F for his performance last year. Yeah.
Did you see those, those numbers?
So I'm going to tell you again that you can hyper-focus on this throw or that throw. You can nitpick this guy to death. He is the biggest lightning rod for criticism now in the entire National Football League because he is the quarterback for America's team. That means he is America's quarterback. And Shannon Sharpe has already dug in, as have a lot of other critics.
What about
he's just not that good. He can't throw.
I said he's middle of the road. That's good.
Okay? So I keep telling you, he is a big game, big play, playmaker. And even, I give you, it was against Tampa Bay. But who scored the first touchdown Sunday against Tampa Bay from 7 yards out? It was Dak Prescott. And what did he do in the end zone? He gave it both biceps. He flexed both. And that whole team ran to him and jumped all over him because he flipped their switch. He's the guy who lights the fuse of that team. And who closed the deal with that sweet fade throw to Michael Gallup? You say, oh, no big deal. It was a big deal because it made it 27-13 and it closed the deal on the division. Those are the plays that he is capable of making and consistently does make.
But what I do, Skip, I will give him credit. But what you want to do is put no blame on him when he doesn't play well. And that's where you and I bump heads at. I got no problem giving him credit for throws that he makes, be it touchdowns or throws to keep drives alive. But when he makes a mistake or when he plays bad, I'm not willing to excuse that.
Okay. So the guy who can't throw went to Philly when this is must-win against the defending Super Bowl champs. It's Carson Wentz, the best quarterback in the division. Who is that, Colin? LeBron? LeBron's mad at you because you didn't defend him strongly enough because I won the debate on Athlete of the Year and he's upset with you.
We'll just, have him join the combo.
Actually, Skip, why do you keep saying I said he can't throw? That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he's not the most accurate thrower of the football. Clearly he can throw. He's not Tebow. Tebow couldn't throw.
All right, but Tebow could make big plays in big games, big moments.
Okay, now, how about this? Who you got? Dak or Tebow? Who your quarterback?
I'll take Dak.
What? Tebow, you heard it. Jenny, you heard that.
I'm really, are you sure?
Tebow. Yeah. Tebow ain't talking to you no more. I bet he won't take your call.
He never did talk to me in the first place.
No, he ain't talking to you.
I don't ever talk to
No, he ain't talking to you.
I don't ever talk to
He don't want your friends.
So then Philly came to Dallas. Now it's do or die. This is it. Are the Eagles going to come back to life and be the dominating team that they can be? Because that's still a loaded football team. I don't care what you say. And
they're more loaded now that Foles is playing quarterback, right?
Okay. Well, they are. Yeah.
No, they're not. Yeah. Stop saying
it. Okay. Well, I keep telling you, I was so thankful that Nick Foles didn't play either of those games.
No way.
But it was Carson Wentz, the guy that you have jumped on the bandwagon. You were driving his bandwagon. He's the best young quarterback in football.
Other than you and Jerry Jones, how many general managers would take Dak Prescott?
I don't care. I just don't care. I just go on what I see. Because you know what about this league? This league makes so many mistakes on quarterbacks that it's laughable.
They make mistakes.
If you look at it, like I read
on a lot of players.
I read these anonymous quotes, about Justin Herbert is better than Tua. I saw that one last night.
I saw that.
What? What? Who is that guy? He should be fired today. Somebody should go find out who said that.
Skip, because
go
Herbert
fire.
is prototypical.
Okay.
It was the height, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
But
But I know
that's
Justin
the-
Herbert. I watched him a lot last year. Trust me, he has little to no feel for playing the position. You have to have a feel for it. You have to be able to make big throws at big moments. It might be a touch pass. It might be a bullet. Whatever it is, he doesn't have it yet. Maybe he'll figure it out. He's got all the prototypical measures.
That's what they're looking at.
He's tall and he's
6'5",
athletic.
240.
And he can run, I bet he can run a 4.640.
Right.
You know, like he's that athletic. He can play golf. He's a
Right.
really good golfer. Okay? And that translates into what?
We should play golf then.
Every time I saw the
Justin
ball
Johnson.
leave to his hand while he was healthy, it went exactly where it was supposed to go, exactly how it was supposed to get there.
And it's tight.
It was
Spiral.
a tight spiral, and he could throw it touch or he could throw it rocket, right?
You know what, Skip? Today I'm in a very giving mood. 2018 is about to end, and I lost a few bets to you. So today I'm gonna pay it off.
Really?
Can I get to do?
Today's
Is this
the day?
No,
Is
it
this
ain't no joke. Can I get to do?
This is it?
Can I get to
Oh
do?
my God!
Is that it?
That's it.
Is that-
That's all you get.
That's not 17
Yes,
cases.
yes, it is.
Jenny, does that look like 17 cases?
First of all, you only drank 6-packs because you only drank bottles. So this is 17. Actually, it's like 50 bottles.
Okay, so
Wait, I
where are
gotta
we
do
at
the
then?
math on that.
Yeah.
17
It's 12
times
6-packs. That's 72.
17 times 6 is okay. I'll accept it.
You'll accept.
You know,
Okay.
Wow.
Well, I have to. I'm on TV. It's the end of the
I paid
year.
it off.
We're gonna end 2018
I'm a
the
humanitarian.
right way.
But I'm going to get it back.
Huh?
I'm going to get it back in the playoffs.
The reason.
So don't drink it all.
Okay, that I accepted this. Does this qualify me for male athlete of the year?
No.
Because I'm a good guy.
No.
I just absolved you.
But
of
you
all
lost
of
all
that.
the debates.
Huh?
So that disqualifies you for
Says
2018.
you delusional Shannon Sharpe.
He
I'm
lost all the
impressed.
debates.
I'm impressed
Okay.
that you did this.
Look at
well
this, Skip.
done. Well done. Let's start the new year
That'll
on
get me through a
on
couple of
different
shows,
note.
right?
Couple. That should get you through 6 months.
Are you guys betting on Oklahoma, Alabama?
Yes.
No.
Yes,
Okay,
come on.
we
I
decided
can't
on
bet
that?
against my team.
Okay,
can't do
well, we're
it.
going to talk about that game next, and maybe we'll have some more dew on the line. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
Alabama is a huge 2-touchdown favorite against Oklahoma in one of the college football playoff semifinals tomorrow. The Crimson Tide are averaging nearly 48 points per game, but Tua Tagovailoa is coming back from a high ankle sprain. He said he's about 80 to 85%. The Sooners do have the Heisman Trophy winner, Cuyler Murray, and an amazing offense, but a terrible defense that has been talked about all year. So, Shannon, how much of a shot do you give Oklahoma to pull the upset?
I'm going to give them a 25% chance.
Why?
Because Kyler Murray is the type of quarterback that's giving Nick Saban fits. Cam
100%.
Newton, Johnny Manziel.
Yep.
And we saw what Deshaun Watson did. Now, do you believe that Kyler Murray is equally as proficient at throwing the football and running the football as Deshaun Watson, Skip? You believe that, don't you?
Absolutely, I believe it, and I love Deshaun
True.
Watson.
Exactly.
This
guys.
kid is just rare. In fact, you can make a case he had the greatest quarterback season in college football history this year, even better than Baker's last year.
Right. So if that's the case, and we've seen, in order to beat a Nick Saban, at some point, a defense, to beat his teams, you got to be able to throw the football. Now, I know Zeke ran for 230 yards against him, but it was Cordell Jones' timely passing that ultimately won them that ball game. Now, Oklahoma also, Skip, I believe they're going to have to get 2 turnovers. I don't believe they can go score for score with them because I do believe eventually Alabama will stop them a time or two. And so in order to offset that, you're going to need to stop Alabama. But you're going to need to get the ball with great field position. You're going to have to get a pick six or a scoop and score. So I think OU needs to get 2 turnovers. And that's going to be the difference in the ball game. Because I think Oklahoma, as good as their offensive line is, I don't know if they've ever faced the team with the physicality of an Alabama.
They have not.
And that's what Coach Saban is going to pride. He's like, guys, physical.
Yep.
And you must be, when you play a guy like a Cuyler Murray, you must be disciplined every single snap. Because if you don't, he hits his head on the goalpost. He gets 25 yards. Or he runs around and he throws the ball over the top of your head. So Oklahoma has a chance to upset Alabama. Do I think they will? No, I do not. I think Tua is going to show the world why he should have been
Really?
the Heisman Trophy winner.
On 2 bad ankles, he's going to show them.
He ain't got no bad ankles.
Okay, all right. So, what's your score?
48-38.
10 points.
10 points.
That means OU covers a 14-point spread, really.
I don't care nothing about no cover. I just want that dubs.
Yeah, you just want the dub. Before I launch into why you're wrong, allow me to quote from the fight song at the University of Oklahoma called Boomer Sooner.
Okay.
I was sooner born and sooner bred, and when I die, I will be sooner dead. That's how much I love this program because I was born into it, and I will die sooner dead at some point, maybe sooner than I hope. Thank you, God.
They could have had a 200-game winning streak had you not showed up.
That is correct. That is correct. that is true. That was my first game, and it ended that winning streak. But that's how much I love this team, and that's why I am so objective when I tell you Oklahoma has a 0% chance
Come
of
on,
winning this
Skip.
game. Well,
You know it's
I'll go
football.
1%, just because of that quarterback. I'll give you that the quarterback can score 30-something maybe.
Right.
Cuyler Murray, I'll give him 30-something. That's a lot.
Right.
Alabama can name the score. They can do it any way they choose to do it. They can do slow death by just running the football, or they can do annihilation by letting Tua just throw parties all over the field because he can throw it to anybody. He'll have time to sit back there and say, I haven't thrown it to Judy for a while. I think I'll throw it to Judy this time. I'm going to say it again. This is the worst great team defense in the history of college football. I know because I watched every snap of every game. In the history of college football, there's never been a bigger drop-off from the offensive unit to the defensive unit than we see this year in this year's Oklahoma Sooners. They had 4 games to end the regular season. They allowed 40-plus points a game in those 4, and they won them because Cuyler Murray was just extraordinary. I've never seen anything quite like that. But they wound up, of the 130 ranked schools in the country that are in this ranking, they are 129th in pass defense.
That's not good.
It is not good. Not only can they not defend the pass, they can't rush the quarterback. They have nobody of note. There's nobody I see on the defense who is NFL bound.
Right.
So, again, on Alabama's side, you can look at both sides of the ball, and it's just loaded with draft picks.
Quinny
right?
Williams is going to be a top 10 pick.
Hey,
Raekwon Davis.
And listen, Oklahoma has one strength. The center and the 2 guards are big time. They are pro football bound. All 3 of them will play high-level pro football, especially the center. So Quinnen Williams is going to go up against those 3. Can they neutralize them a little bit? Maybe a little bit, but they never see anything like this guy because he is special. And I thought it was funny if you saw the clip of him yesterday because he almost wanted to trash talk. He wanted to say something.
You know Coach Saban is a briefed him, but Kyler ain't what? I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good.
It's like he realized it in his face.
I play for Nick Saban.
Yeah.
Say that.
Coach Saban, that little Coach Saban was on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Boy, you better not.
Okay, so that brings me to 2 reasons that you passed over. Number 1, that these are huge motivational reasons for Alabama. Number 1, Cuyler Murray, in the eyes of those Alabama kids, stole the Heisman Trophy from Tua, right? Mm-hmm. And Tua had one bad game. It was Georgia. It was on a national stage, an SEC championship game, and he was hurt. He already had one ankle turned that was plaguing him, and then the other one was, torn apart. He needed surgery.
Right.
Okay, so that cost him the Heisman, and you don't think they're going to come out with blood in their eyes on Cuyler Murray? How many times have we seen the Heisman winner go into a bowl game and the other team just plays sky high to put him back in his place?
I think the last time we've seen a game like this, Skip, it was the USC Texas. Reggie Bush and Vince Young.
Okay.
1-2, the guys finished 1-2 in the Heisman Bowl.
All right. So I think that's big, bad reason that Alabama is going to be all over Cuyler Murray. I think they've been spoiling for this. You give them a month to prepare for Cuyler Murray. I think they'll be better than Nick Saban teams have been against mobile court. And he's as mobile as you can get.
Yeah.
He is lightning quick. I've never seen, I'm going to say it again, never seen quicker feet anywhere, even in the NFL. It's quicker than Barry Sanders kind of feet. To me, just he's just gone.
He runs like Darren Sproles at the quarterback position. You know all them steps Sproles be taking.
Does. And then the other problem is he's going to be handicapped because his best receiver is definitely handicapped.
Yes.
Hollywood Brown in the Texas game, in the Big 12 championship game, tore up his foot, and they're not disclosing what it is. I'm not even sure they know what it is yet, but he got carted off. He was limping at media day yesterday. He's tried to practice. He kind of jogs through practice a little bit. He is at least as fast as Cuyler Murray, if not faster. Hollywood Brown is a cousin of Antonio Brown, and he is the next AB in pro football. He'll get drafted in that 15 to 20 range in the first round, and he is going to light some team up because, man, he can flat fly, and he can snag it and run with it. And if he's limited at best, I think he's going to be no more than a decoy. And they are deep at receiver, but that's the guy. And he's the one who takes the top off. He's the one who opens things up.
Well, Skip, you said it. Now, Deshaun Watson had 2 games in which he threw for 400 yards. In one game, he rushed for 30. The other game, he rushed for 70. And he won one, he lost one. Cam Newton can't run like this kid. Johnny Manziel can't run like this kid. I don't believe Johnny can throw like this kid. Maybe only Deshaun has basically the skill set where he could run and throw as proficient as Cuyler Murray.
I'm with you on that.
So with that being said, and you have a month to prepare for someone, you should give them more than what they can handle. Now, the question is, can your defense get to give you 2 extra possessions? Because I believe that's what it's going to take. Because if you look at the games they lost, they did turn the ball over. So can Oklahoma steal 2 possessions from Tua and that offense?
Well, how? Because midseason, Lincoln Riley finally said, okay, I've seen enough of Mike Stoops, and he fired him after I was basically calling for that here on the show. And he elevated Ruff and McNeil. And what happened to the defense? It got a little worse. Is that possible? But it got a little worse down the stretch. It was one of the great achievements in Oklahoma football history that they held Texas to 27 in the Big 12 championship game. So can they actually blitzed off the corners a couple of times that game.
Caught them napping.
Yeah, and they did. So can they do that to Tua? Is Tua going to be a little bit handicapped? Is he going to have to stand and throw from the pocket? Is he going to be less mobile than he usually? Well, sure he is. It looks to me like. But let's do worst case scenario. Let's say he really struggles and Nick Saban has to do it again. He has to make the big quarterback switch in a big national stage game. They got Nick Foles as their backup quarterback. Am I right? He's Nick Foles.
Guy's 26-2.
Huh? Jalen he's Nick Foles. I mean, is he almost as good as Tua? Is he in the ballpark? Did he not save the game against Georgia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So again, I can't even do if Tua can't go,
Well, yes, but you know this. They're a better football team with Tua starting at quarterback. Because they can throw. Because as good as Jalen can run the ball, he's not as good at running the ball as Tua is at throwing the ball.
Correct.
So and you can score a lot quicker throwing the ball. And Tua now, I don't know if how much he's going to be able to run on those bad ankles. But it's not like Tua was a slouch at running the football either. He just didn't run because he was so proficient at throwing the football.
I just think.
What you think? What's the score? What's your score?
I'm being conservative about this. I'm going to say it's 50-30. That's what the score is going to be. Yep. And that Alabama will cover. And I'm being conservative because I'm afraid it could be 60-30. That they can do whatever they want on offense. This defense is no good.
I hope it's tighter than what we think. But you're right. It's hard to.
And if I weren't a diehard Oklahoma fan, I would bet you on this, but I would have to bet against my team, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, you bet for them.
Huh?
Even though you picked Alabama, I'll let you know what? To get a bet, I'll let you bet.
Huh?
Oklahoma, you can take Oklahoma, even though you don't think they're going to win.
Well, I know, but you said it's going to be a 10-point game, and I would say, okay, so give me Alabama minus 10.
No.
That's what I would do.
That's how you
I don't want to bet on Alabama.
That's how you got all those cases from me.
Yeah.
Me giving you points. I'm not giving you any more points.
Now you're trying to disqualify all my wins?
Yes.
Well, you proposed all those.
I did.
Yeah.
And I let you sucker me. I'm not going to let you do that.
Sucker.
I'm not going to let you sucker me in 2019.
Okay.
No.
Well, this is not going to be a 10-point game. You're wrong about that.
Well,
and I wish I could win cases off that.
Well, here's the thing.
3.
This is why I think it's going to be a 10-point game. Because Alabama's going to get ahead big early, and then they'll get a couple of touchdowns late and cover. You know, that backdoor cover.
Like the backdoor. Yeah. That would be an ultimate backdoor cover. Nick Saban is not, he doesn't allow backdoor covers. He just runs it down your throat.
Come on, Alabama.
We're going to talk about Cuyler Murray a bit later, too, about his future. But first, are the Lakers in big trouble without LeBron? Rob Parker answers that question next.
No mercy.
Back to the NBA. The Lakers were without LeBron last night, and They didn't miss him for most of the night. Kyle Koosman scored 33 points. Lonzo Ball was a rebound shy of a triple-double, but he had to leave late in the fourth with a leg cramp. The Lakers had a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter, but the Kings came all the way back. Bogdan Bogdanović hit a game-winning three-pointer at the buzzer. ESPN reports that LeBron could miss several games with his groin strain, and he currently leads the team in points, rebounds, and assists. We are joined by Rob Parker.
What's happening? Good morning, everybody.
Rob. All right, Rob, how much will the Lakers struggle without LeBron?
It's going to be a big struggle, and excuse me, it's the worst case scenario for the Lakers, for LeBron, for Magic, for Rob Pelinka, for Laker fans. From this standpoint, I think everybody thought, well, LeBron has the next 4 years to try to win a championship. But if you hear that, that's the Lakers championship clock ticking. They don't have 4 years. They have more like this year and next year to win. LeBron's not going to get better as he gets older. And the other part is, we finally saw, here's LeBron going down with an injury, and you say to yourself, is he finally going to be like everybody else and start suffering these injuries? And then you got to look at it. So I think the Lakers are going to struggle. And the worst part about it is, Shannon, every single game in the Western Conference matters.
Yep.
It's the difference between being a top 4 seed and hosting and being a bottom 4 seed and going on the road. So you lose, especially.
Last night didn't help.
Last night is one of those games you'll go back to if they're 5 through 8, you know what I mean? And go, oh my God, they gave up 33 points in the fourth quarter. They had a 15-point lead. They're playing the Kings. I know they're a little bit better, but they're still NBA Siberia. You got to close that game out even without LeBron, because they had played well enough to win it. So I think if you're the Lakers, this is depending on how many games it is. Will it be 4 or 5 games? Will they lose most of them or a lot of them, games that maybe they would have won with LeBron? And then you look at yourself and go, last year, remember, the 3rd seed down to the 8th seed was separated by just 2 games in the standings. That's how important these games are. So a game like Sacramento losing a big lead like that, and then other games coming up without LeBron, if he misses 4 or 5 games, could be devastating to the Lakers as far as the postseason this year.
I agree. I think losing him when he leads your team in points, rebounds, and assists, he's the calming effect. I feel comfortable saying that if they had LeBron last night, they don't lose this ball game.
I'm confident as well.
But, Skip, the thing is that you're going to be asking these young guys to do things that they're not comfortable in doing. One of the reasons why you got LeBron is that you had a terrible record last year. And you had a terrible record the year before that and the year before that. So it's not like these guys have been here, done that. They're used to winning. They're used to being in tight ball games and finding ways to win. They're not doing that. And they're just seeming like every time they start to play well, Skip, either somebody gets hurt. Brandon Ingram got hurt and Rondo got hurt. And then all of a sudden, now LeBron gets hurt.
JaVale
McGee got the flu.
Right.
The best thing they can hope for, whether he misses 5 games or he misses 10, is that they be 500 through those games when LeBron gets back. They can ill afford to give up too much ground because, as you mentioned, Rob, to try to work your way back up, to climb that mountain, you don't want to be, 9 trying to get back because every game matters. It's not going to be Golden State's not going to run away and hide with the West this year. The Rockets are not going to run away and hide this year with the Western Conference. The top seed and the 8th seed might be separated by 7 games, which is unheard of because normally it's 20.
I think you're a little high on that.
It might even be smaller than that.
But we know probably 3 through 8, you're probably about a game and a half, maybe 2 games at the most.
Yep.
So with that being said, they're going to miss him. How do you not miss the best player? Guy like me, sometimes I take PTO. Skip missed me. How do you not miss the best debater in debate history?
I don't know about that face that.
Wow.
Yeah, when I take PTO. Skip missed me.
I don't even know what PTO is because I never
Paid
take
time off.
Paid time off?
Yeah.
PTO.
You get paid time off?
Look at Skip.
They don't even dock you?
No, I got something stored up. I ain't take all my time in 2018. rolling over in 2019.
Does it roll over or do you lose it? You better make sure.
I must congratulate you. You work almost as hard as I do, because I can only remember one day that you took off.
And then he called. Hey, let me tell you the truth.
Said he called you.
This dude called. I took one day off, Jenny. Since we've been working 2.5 years together, he called me. Is everything okay? Yeah, I took a day.
That's nice he checked in on you.
No, he did.
But I've said this, and I've been with Skip since 2006. I don't remember Skip ever taking off.
He doesn't.
I don't. I might be wrong, but I don't remember.
Back to the real world.
Well, on that note.
So, on that note, LeBron James last night had some more great news and some more bad news. The great news was Golden State lost again at home.
Yeah.
On a last-second shot by Damian Lillard, but they lost again. So they didn't, for once, they didn't get blown out the way they'd lost their other full home games. So it was close, and Draymond played much better. KD had a big-time game, but he missed a late shot. I give you that, Mr. Sharpe. I still think it's a troubled basketball
He didn't
team.
close?
He didn't close. He closed, but then he didn't, slam the door with the last-second shot. Yeah, that's true. So that was the good news. The bad news is that Harden guy in Houston, he's come back to life. And they don't have Chris Paul, and it doesn't matter because they are a force right now, and Boston had no chance. And Kyrie got going in the third quarter, and it just didn't matter because James Harden said, nope, not in my house. So here comes Houston. And I look around, and Oklahoma City is still pretty good, getting better. Oklahoma City's playing the best defense I've ever seen that team play in its history. Then we go all the way to the bottom. I still can't figure out the New Orleans Pelicans. They're bringing up the rear in the Western Conference, except for Phoenix.
And last year they were really good.
And trust me, they will have a run before this is over. And then Utah. I don't know what's going on with Utah, but they get blown out at home last night by Philadelphia. And Philly's really good with Jimmy Butler. It took them up a level, but we saw what happened. Boston beat Philly on Christmas Day. So my point is that conference is loaded at the bottom. There are 6 teams that could all make runs at playoff spots. So now, to Rob's point, these are crucial games. These are going to matter in April. And so you have a 4-game homestand starting tonight with the Clippers, who are a 5.5-point favorite at Staples.
That's their home too, right?
Their home too, but 5.5 point. And I've told you from the start, I think the Clippers are a little better than the Lakers, even with LeBron. I just think they have a little more veteran depth where Lou Williams comes in and just takes it over. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And I like the way they're playing it. And I love Doc Rivers, and that's an interesting team to me, but they're going to be a factor in this equation. So, can they beat the Clippers? I don't think they can without LeBron and Lonzo. I'm sorry, Rondo. And then Sacramento comes here on Sunday. I think they could win that game. I don't think they can beat Oklahoma City. And then it's the Knicks.
They got to beat the Knicks.
You can beat the Knicks.
Yeah.
So that would mean without LeBron, they would go 2-3, and that's not really good enough to do what you say they need to do for the long haul.
Because what they accomplished on Christmas was nullified by doing what they did last night.
100%.
Because, Skip, you beat Golden State in the fashion in which you did.
No, you blew them out in their own
And you got a
stadium.
15-point lead at a point in the fourth quarter, and you lose that game. So now what you accomplished on Christmas, your early Christmas, is done.
Okay, now, for my friend Rob Parker, I must note that last night, the guy that you have called occasionally a bust, Lonzo Ball, he was big time last night.
No, he played well.
That was greatness on display, potential greatness. You saw a guy who I've said all along, as he grows up in the league, he could average a triple-double. Now, he's not going to average the 20-plus points on a triple-double, but could he go 15, 10, and 10 at some point as he becomes a man in the league?
But Skip, no doubt. And he has played. What was the other game he played well? Was that the Christmas game?
Oh, Charlotte. We had triple-double, him and LeBron.
Right, that game. So he's played some. But they're also the mixed-in stinkers, too, where you look at him. You remember the 2 bunnies he missed in that game? And there's those nights when he's 0 for 6 from 3.
Sometimes.
And the shots doesn't look even
But he made 4
good.
6 threes. Remember what pressure was on him, and we talked about it at the end of this show yesterday. He was on the hot seat last night because there's no Rondo and obviously no LeBron, and you're up against De'Aaron Fox, who has tortured you before.
Right.
He has torched you in an NCAA game that played in Memphis, second-round game when Lonzo was at UCLA. And he outplayed De'Aaron Fox.
He did.
And to Shannon's point, he took the fight to him from the start. That was a different body language. He's also got a different body because he's put some muscle on.
But I'll ask you this, Skip, and you said he was a special talent, but if you were to redraft that class with Lonzo, he wouldn't be the second pick.
No, Jason Tatum would be the first pick.
He would be
Donovan
more
Mitchell
like
probably be
yes.
higher.
He would probably be there.
Donovan Mitchell has really had a hard time this year shooting threes.
But would you admit that, Skip, that if you looked at him now, after knowing what we know, there's no way he would be the second pick? I don't think he's going to be that player you thought he was going to be, which is a trendsetter. You know, like a guy we had never seen before.
Well, we might pass. I'm looking at these stats, Skip. Did you know Kevin Durant missed 2 free throws last night? Klay Thompson missed 3, and Steph Curry missed 2. They were 6 of 15 from the free throw line.
Oh, that's brutal. There's your loss right there.
Look at Klay Thompson from 3 last night.
Oh, he was terrible.
Terrible. He's in the worst slump of his career.
Yeah,
Will he snap out of it?
He ain't like my guy
Not
Braun.
new.
Yeah.
My guy Braun shoot like 35% from the 3.
And I'm going to say, Shannon.
Are you proud of 35%?
That's pretty good.
Well, Steph's shooting 46% from 3.
Well, his 35% from the 3 is better than career of Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. So, yeah, I'm very proud of that.
In Michael's day, they didn't even care about
Did they
shooting
have the
threes.
3-point line?
They did, but nobody even thought about it.
If you don't mind me
They
asking,
ignored it.
Rob, maybe you could help Skip because Skip, man, comes and goes sometime. But when he did this in the NBA Finals, why was he doing that? Where was he shooting the ball from?
Yeah, he couldn't believe they were going in.
Oh, what were he shooting, though?
Threes.
I thought he didn't shoot 3s.
So he reserved the 3-point shot for the biggest games, the finals games.
Kinda like
because
LeBron?
he was 6 times in the finals with 6 MVPs.
And,
Like
he
LeBron's
and never
pretty great.
once did he look for Kyle Korver to pass the ball to.
No.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jim Paxson. Oh, Steve Kerr got it. Steve Kerr, is Steve Kerr the equivalent?
And Shannon, thank you for the Diet Mountain Dew. Very good.
Oh, now we're
What?
sharing.
He drinking your dew?
You got my due?
Then
Then you owe me another bottle.
No, that ain't got nothing to do with that. No. What? Man, if I pay off the debt, I don't care what they do with it.
You gotta pay off your meals.
Go
now,
talk to
Rob.
Susan in finance.
Hang on, that's
I can't have
You
one.
realize I allowed a loan consolidation, right? That's what happened.
That was-
A loan
yeah,
consolidation.
so nice of you. Rob, thanks for being here. Enjoy that dew. Will the Patriots get back to the Super Bowl? We'll discuss that with James Harrison. He's with us next.
No mercy.
The Patriots face the Jets on Sunday, but Tom Brady's health is in question with a rumored knee injury. His stats have been very un-Brady-like this season, but the Patriots still won 10 games and will get a first-round bye with a win. We're joined by FS1 NFL analyst James Harrison. James, how far do you think the Patriots will go in the playoffs?
I hate to say this, and I'm a Brady fan, but I don't think they win their first home game. I believe that it's too much for him to overcome now. Like you said, Gronk is not Gronk anymore.
Nope.
The only guy that they could really get the ball to is Edelman, and defenses are learning how to try and shut that down. The Patriots defense themselves, they're not really that good. I think they're 21st in pass or total and 24th in something else and 13th in actual rush. And their big issue is their rushing defense. They can't stop. But people are doing so well at other phases that they don't have to go there. So with that and Brady not being Brady. I mean, he's still a good quarterback, no question, but he's not giving you the Brady performances that you're used to seeing that overcomes the lack of not having the help that he has had in recent history and the defense not being to the caliber that it needs to be. So, as much as I hate to say it, I think they take a loss in their first home game since 2012 against the Ravens.
If you're right about that, I think some heads are going to roll in that franchise. I think there are going to be some dramatic, sweeping changes.
Why?
I just do.
Why?
I just think that would be the
I mean,
flashpoint.
Maybe it's just an anomaly. Maybe it's just an outlier. Why? Why make sweeping changes? I mean, you've been the representative in the AFC Championship every year since 2000. Last time you weren't there was 2000.
Sounds like Jonathan Kraft is about to take over for Mr. Kraft, and I would think he would bring younger, fresher eyes to it and say, I think we need to be ahead of the curve here and change some things.
Maybe younger, fresher legs at quarterback too. Okay, but that's what they're doing.
Could argue.
Yeah. I don't think they'll lose their first game, but I don't see them advancing, Skip, because I believe there are 2 teams I know for certain that if they were to play them, I'm picking them: the Chargers and the Ravens.
No question.
If they play New England, I'm picking those teams outright to beat them. I think they can beat everybody else because I was very disappointed in what I saw with the Texans do going to Philadelphia. Skip, it's unacceptable. You have J.J. Watt, Pro Bowler, Jadeveon Clowney, Pro Bowler, your middle backers going to the Pro Bowl, and you let Nick Foles throw for 471? They gain over 500 yards of total offense against that? That's unacceptable. And we know what Kansas City's defense represent. They trash, they garbage, they're not very good. And I believe that
they can rush the passer.
They can rush the passer, but they can't stop the run. And I believe that this is where I'm going to get you, Skip. I believe New England's best chance to advance is to run the football. I believe they're going to have to take the ball out of Brady's hand in order for them to get. And the days of him throwing for like what he did in the Super Bowl against Atlanta and the 45 and the 50 attempts and the 450 yards, I don't believe they can win like that, Skip. I believe they're going to have to do what they did against Buffalo. I think they're going to have to run the football, and Brady plays out off of that. I think they can win a game, but they're not going to the Super Bowl this year, Skip. This is a different team. Brady is not that guy, because if he was that guy, you wouldn't need the run game to be dominant. You wouldn't have to talk about whether the defense is not. You got Brady. So who cares what the defense is? Who cares if Gronk is a shell of himself? Who cares if Edelman is old and coming off an ACL? You got Brady.
Correct.
And Brady is supposed to cure all things. That's what you tell me.
Yep, you're being so sarcastic, and I'm not. I'm speaking straight from the heart when I tell you there's one man in pro football I do not bet against, and it's that number 12 in Foxborough, even at age 41. I remind Mr. Sharpe, as I have a couple of times here of late, just 2 weeks ago at Miami, Tom Brady threw for 358 yards and put them in position to be the 1 seed in the AFC. That's pretty great. And the Miami Miracle happened. So it dropped them to now the 2 seed if they beat the Jets, obviously, at home on Sunday. And that means they get the bye week and one home game, and you guys both think you think they'll lose at home.
It all depends. If they play San Diego, the Ravens, yeah, they gone.
Remember, the Ravens do have a rookie quarterback. As much as I love their and respect their defense, that's a rookie quarterback
that
against Tom
runs
Brady.
against a defense that can't stop the run.
That is correct.
They got hellraisers on defense
Okay.
that can do whatever they want to do.
Again, I've said Bill Belichick has fielded the worst defense of his tenure, his 19 years in Foxborough. So I don't trust the defense. Tom Brady now, without Josh Gordon, has no wide receiver who can separate and get open on a regular basis. There's nobody I would trust to get open. Even Edelman, he doesn't look the same to me at age 32 coming off full knee reconstruction. He doesn't have that burst, that thing where he was virtually uncoverable, especially when you could put Amendola in the other slot. Now you really got problems, right?
Right.
There's no Amendola. There's no Brandon Cooks. There's nobody. There's Gronk, who is a liability now. You saw the interception, quote unquote, that Tom threw, and it just hit him right in the hands and went right through his hands. I mean, you want to talk about shell of yourself? He's a liability. Like he's dangerous to put on the field instead of being dangerous to the opponent.
James, you
right?
can speak to this. This is what the way you see Gronk, that's when you know a player's injured. You don't want to get hit. You don't want to fall, and you just out there trying to protect yourself.
That looks broken down to me.
Yes.
Where you're just broken down. I thought Dez got that way at the end, where he's
pain,
just.
To be honest.
Yes.
What's that?
It's playing with pain.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
All right. So
trying to fight through it.
You're just trying to survive, and the last thing on your mind is catching the football.
Correct.
You're just trying to say, I don't want to get hit by him, or I don't know where I'm going here, right?
But Tom sees 87. He ain't worried about that your back might be hurting, your knee, your ankles, and all that. You might have took something. He's like, all he sees is that's Gronk. Let me throw him the ball.
Okay, so they have one Pro Bowler on defense, Stephon Gilmore, and they have one bogus Pro Bowler on offense, Shannon Sharpe, and that's Tom Brady. So the talent has eroded greatly on both sides of football, like dangerously, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And yet, I'm not betting against Tom Brady. At home, let's do Lamar Jackson. I'll take him over Lamar Jackson. I don't disagree with your premise.
You taking him over Baltimore and?
Well, I'll take him over
and
anybody
the
at home.
Chargers?
And that would probably bring me to, because of the Miami Miracle, that would put Tom Brady probably, I'm just going to do the hypothetical, against Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. Let's just do that as the hypothetical.
Okay.
That's the probability of this, right? So what happened in Foxborough? Patrick Mahomes put up 31 in the second half against Bill Belichick's defense, and Brady overcame it with 182 yards passing in the fourth quarter. I think he's still capable of doing that in the AFC Championship game, and I can't give you any logical reason why.
Josh Gordon had a big game in that game, though.
I know, he did.
But he's not there.
I know. I got it. I just think he's still Tom Brady, and you don't. That's the difference.
No, he's still Tom Brady, but he just can't do it like he once could.
Okay. Well, I mean, as a quarterback, I think he's still that guy.
I'm making Tom Brady beat me.
He's good, but he's not Tom Brady. like that Tom Brady, that guy where you
So
were
we're
like,
saying he has fallen off the cliff. That's
no,
what
I'm not
you're
saying he's falling off the cliff. I'm saying that he is not the same guy that was putting up
that guy,
huge numbers.
less than a year ago, threw for 505 yards. That's the all-time playoff record in the Super Bowl.
Yep.
On the field that
was
day
there.
was Brandon Cooks and Danny Amendola, right? So you had other weapons, even though Brandon Cooks got
Got hurt.
concussed.
He got knocked out last.
Right? Yeah.
He got put.
Okay. This Brady guy is really good.
He is.
358 at Miami just 2 weeks ago, but he's not what he used to be.
But are we going to mention that 161 and 2 interceptions just a week later? Are we going to talk about that? I just want to know.
Okay, but we've seen Belichick do this regularly, come into some game and just say, we're going to run the football today, Tom, sorry about that.
Okay, I get all that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean Brady has to throw 2 interceptions. That doesn't mean he has to complete less than 55% of his
Do you
passes.
really believe both of those were his fault? Because I don't think either was. Again, Burkhead went the wrong way. They're on the wrong page. Brady, that wasn't a bad throw. That was somebody made a bad choice. Somebody made the wrong decision, right? And Gronk, you even laughed when you saw the video because it just goes right through his hands. I'm not putting that on Brady.
But there were some other incompletions too, Skip.
Okay, all right. He throws incompletions because every mortal does.
I can't take the interception though.
Yeah.
But I saw that what he had Cordell Patterson on that stop route, and he flinched, and he like, no, that's gonna be hitting the chop. I'm gonna get hit in the mouth with that one. I can't.
So Tom Brady is flinching, he's ducking, he's lost his nerve in the pocket, and I'm still betting on him. I'm betting on him.
But you have seen him do that, right?
I'm just quoting the Hall of
He
Fame.
has been a lot less accurate under pressure this year than he was in previous years.
Bad under pressure, Skip Bayless.
He outgunned Aaron Rodgers. He outgunned Patrick Mahomes. That was this year. Does that count this year?
How can you outgun Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers with a shell of himself, Gronk, and Edelman, who's not the same guy, and Philip Dorsett? You didn't mention any of them guys. But when he don't play well, you see who he mentioned. You see,
But his playoff record at home is still 19-3, road 3-4. So how do you bet against 19?
The threes belong to Baltimore, I think. At least 2 of them do.
We're home.
The last one was Baltimore in 12. Baltimore
got him again in 10 too.
Hey, Terrell Suggs
might have been 9.
Suggs loves to play Brady at Foxborough.
Flacco, yeah.
Yep.
That is true. James, good to have you. As always, thanks for being here. And don't forget that this weekend is your last chance to play DraftKings 1 Week Fantasy Football. They've got a $1 million NFL contest that you can play for free. Download the DraftKings app. Use the promo code FS1. Play for free this weekend, and we will be right back.
No mercy.
So let's move on to the Orange Bowl. Cuyler Murray's Sooners are a 14-point underdog tomorrow against Alabama. The Heisman Trophy winner has led the Sooners to the playoff, but the QB has options for his future. He was drafted in the first round of last year's Major League Baseball draft, and his agent Scott Boras said yesterday, quote, he's going to be at spring training with the Oakland A's on February 10th. Cuyler said yesterday that it's never bad to have options, then added more about his potential NFL career. Let's take a listen.
I've always felt like I could play in the NFL. I'm a confident guy. There's not a lot of short quarterbacks in the league, but I think there's more guys paving the way for the transition of not really caring how big you are, how tall you are. But for me, I've played this game my whole life, and I've always felt like I could do it.
We're joined by Fox College football analyst Joel Klatt. Joel, it's good to have you back.
Good to be back, yeah.
So it's great to have you here for this one because you played college football.
Yep.
You played minor league baseball.
Yep.
So
For how long, by the way? Just
2.5 seasons.
2.5 seasons, and it came at what point in your...
I was right out of high school, was drafted, played 2.5 seasons, and then I actually quit, and went to school after that.
Okay, and you were drafted how high?
I was an 11th round draft pick, so certainly not to the level that Cuyler is as far as the money and the monetary means that he would get, or even the opportunities he would get within the organization. Because remember now, the A's are highly incentivized to get him to the big leagues and quickly. The problem for Cuyler is right now his decision in the short term might be a little bit backwards from what everyone's thinking. Everyone's thinking like, hey, the money in baseball is better. You got to go take the money right away in baseball. But actually, as short term, football would actually be better money, and it would be quicker money, and it would probably be about double what he would make playing baseball in the next 4 years if he were to go and get himself into the first round of the NFL draft. The big thing for me with Cuyler Murray, however, is the fact that I think his decision needs to hinge on how he plays tomorrow. I know that sounds crazy, and it's just
I
one
do
60
not
minute.
think it's crazy. I'm with you.
Here's the thing. He doesn't have a body of work like Baker had last year. Remember, Baker had completed over 1,000 passes in his career, over 130 touchdowns. We had seen him against Ohio State on the road. He was undefeated against ranked teams on the road. We saw him with a huge body of work, and we knew what he was even before he played Georgia. And so he could overcome some of those things like his height, the air raid system, so on and so forth, and he's gone on and done great with Cleveland. For Cuyler Murray, he doesn't have that big body of work. Guys, he's only completed a hair over 300 passes in his college career. He's only started for one season. We haven't seen him play a great defense yet in his career. So I think it
And
hinges.
by the way, I still don't know what happened at Texas A&M. Like, that's the weirdest thing to me. How do you
Very
let
strange.
a Heisman? I don't know, but go ahead.
Very strange. You're right. That could be a whole other segment. But I do think that if he plays well, and I'm not saying that they have to win. I'm just saying that if he plays well, I think he can get himself into the first round. If you can get yourself into the first round, Lamar Jackson's contract last year was $9.5 million. Now, that's not fully guaranteed. You can be released in the last year of your rookie deal, but Paxton Lynch is the only one of recent vintage that we have seen not get to the end of his rookie contract being a first-round quarterback. $9.5 million versus the $4.6 that he signed with the A's. Here's why baseball is not the monetary incentive that you might think. If he gets the $4.6 million for signing with baseball, that only takes him up until he gets to his arbitration years in the big leagues. If he's aggressive, gets to the big leagues in 1.5 seasons, he would still have to play for 3 more seasons before he even got to arbitration, which means he's making under $700,000 a year for all of his big league years until 4 or 5 years from now. To me, I think financially the better move is play well tomorrow in the Orange Bowl, get into the first round, and then go to the NFL.
Interesting.
And be done with baseball.
Be done with baseball.
Wow.
For me, I get what he's saying. He said there are guys, and what he's talking about, guys have paved the way. He's talking about a Drew Brees. He's talking about a Russell Wilson.
Height-wise.
Yeah. He's talking about Baker Mayfield, as you mentioned, who just got into the NFL. But at some point in time, 5'9" guys just can't do it. I mean, you talk about, well, he got 100. They're not letting a 5'7" pitcher on the mound. I mean, no matter how, there are more Jose Altuves and Dustin Pedroias in the MLB than they are in football.
Sure.
And that's what he will be. Those are anomalies. Russell Wilson and Drew Brees are anomalies at that position. And prior to, say, the last, since Drew Brees, we had never seen a quarterback have success under 6 feet. That's what everybody...
He would be the littlest success story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Generously listed at 5'10", by the way, generously.
It's generous.
Okay.
Jenny
What do you
told-
think?
I've interviewed him
5'9"?
plenty. I mean, I'm 5'9.5". And
And
we're pretty.
Had Jenny, he had Jenny interview him out there on her bare feet, had her heels in her hand.
I put him on a box.
Yeah, put him on the apple. That's what I'm saying.
I
I heard.
think it is a generous.
Okay.
Look,
But he doesn't play that way. He plays with the confidence he describes. I don't think height has ever been something
but
he
I think
thinks.
most guys play with a lot of confidence. You know, you
Sure.
got to get to that next level.
Sure,
You got to have
you
that
bet.
confidence. But at what point does 5'9"? I mean,
I get it.
he's still 5'9".
I get it.
And I get these wide open offenses. So, but we'll see. I agree with you. We'll see tomorrow, because this is probably the closest he's seen to an NFL style defense.
No doubt.
With the way they play, the coverages, the calls that he's
doubt.
going to hear. So this is as close as he's going to be. But here's the thing, and I get it. In his first 4 years, he can make a lot of money. But normally, once you start getting to, say, like age 30 in the NFL, they start decreasing pay. Bryce Harper turned down $300 million.
It's the exact opposite.
I don't know the football player that's turning down $300 million. I don't know the football player turning down $200 million, Skip.
There's never been an NFL player make $300 million in his career.
Peyton Manning is the most at a $250 million. Think about it, McCutcheon. He had his worst season, hit like 240.
Yep.
He got 2 years at $32 million. They're not giving you that in the NFL.
Now, you got to get there, though.
He paid a lot of dues to get to that
You
moment.
got to get there.
But here's the thing. Pittsburgh paid him. San Fran gave him some money.
Yeah.
So it's not like he just all of a sudden said, you know what, at 32. No, Andrew McCutcheon made money along the way. Look at these contracts. Look at Giancarlo Stanton. A-Rod made $400 million.
Yeah.
You ain't making $400 million. I don't care how good he is.
Here, a quick stat on just, you're talking about lifetime money now,
Yes.
and that's a different conversation. I'm talking about in the short term, the NFL is actually the bigger financial windfall for Cuyler Murray. in the life of an MLB baseball player, you're much more likely to make $100 million in your career. In fact, there's well over 100 players in the history of baseball that have made over $100 million in their career. There's only 29 in the history of the NFL that have made over $100 million in the National Football League, and nobody has topped $300 million. Obviously, A-Rod's gone north of $450 million. So career-wise, you're absolutely right in the long term.
Okay, point of order. Cuyler, as much as I love him as a football player, his college baseball stats do not scream star.
Okay.
Surefire star. You know, like Hall of Fame production, where you just say, that kid's...
He's not batting 350 with 25 homers.
Just not. But Billy Bean's a shrewd operator, and he is betting on the come. He is seeing the speed. He's got power for little man size. He's got that short, powerful pop stroke.
Yep.
But... now we're back to the old cliche, money can't buy happiness. I
agree.
still believe Cuyler will be much happier playing football than baseball. Football's more fun to play in bursts.
You're right.
Like the game day Saturday for him is just everything, and game day Sundays would be, they're just special. You know how it is. It's just
100%.
You can't
You're preaching
can't
to the
ever
choir.
Baseball crowd does not like football crowds.
You like playing football more?
I've loved football my entire life. I was a better baseball player, which is why I played it out of high school. But every single night when I went to the park or went to 3 o'clock BP, I would yearn for a football game. I would yearn for the lights of a football game.
That's fascinating. Cuyler Murray can be as good as Russell Wilson. He's shorter than Russell Wilson, which is scarier than anything we've talked about.
Yeah, right.
But Cuyler Murray plays with what I call athletic dignity, like serenity, arrogance, if you will, athletic arrogance. His body language is so confident, albeit against Big 12 defenses for the most part, but he just looks like he believes with all his heart and soul that he was born to do this. And you're going to see him. He will not be scared against Alabama.
Nope. Oh, I believe it.
Yeah, he will operate just the way he operated against Army or whoever else that you want to say, against Lane Kiffin's team in the opener. He'll just operate the same way because he believes, because his father played college football, that he was just born to do this. And that's what I love about him, which is why I would encourage him to play football, because I believe it'll make him shorter term happier. To your point, you're right. And you went through the wars that are the NFL, and you know what it did to your body.
Yeah.
And it will do the same thing to his body if, in fact, he becomes a starting
Hip
quarterback.
pops, knees pop.
He will.
But here's the thing, the biggest thing. How do you go from, Joel, winning the Heisman Trophy, everybody got the band behind you telling you how great you are, to picking up your own bat and balls, carrying your own gloves, and riding the bus?
I don't know.
You ride first class now.
Yeah,
you don't ride for, I don't care how great a baseball player you are. You go to the minors, you ride that same Bluebird bus, the school bus, it's a trailway now that they took the trailway off the side. That's what you ride.
Tim Tebow is riding it because he was forced to ride it.
Yep.
Okay?
It's not glamorous. I can just tell you that right now. I mean, quick story. I know we don't have a lot of time. We were driving from Casper, Wyoming, back to Idaho Falls, Idaho, over the Teton Mountains. Our bus driver got tired, 3 a.m., pulled over in the shoulder of the road over the Teton Mountains, pulled out a pillow, and went to sleep because he needed a nap for 2 hours. Guess what we got to do? Nothing. Sit in the bus. Where else are we going to go? I mean, it's not a glamorous life. I will say, just quickly to go back to, you're right about height. There's no doubt. But that road is starting to be paved, and not just by Russell Wilson. I would say that there's 3 traditional knocks against a guy like Cuyler Murray. You talk about the air raid system. You talk about young quarterbacks not generally having success. And then you talk about the fact that he's short. And all of a sudden, the last 3 seasons in the National Football League, what have we seen? All 3 of those get really knocked down. We've seen Goff, Mahomes, and Mayfield come in and light it up from the air raid offense. We've seen Darnold, Lamar Jackson, Trubisky, Mayfield, all these rookies and second-year guys have success. And then Case Keenum, I know he hasn't been great for the Broncos, but Russell Wilson, Drew Brees have at least paved the way, along with Mayfield, for guys 6 feet and under. Now, Murray's a little under that 5'10".
I got it.
But it's more reasonable now than it was 8 years ago.
I agree.
Okay, quick. What's the final score of Oklahoma-Alabama?
Final score, Oklahoma-Alabama. There's no way Bama scores less than 50 points. So I think it's 52-14. 45.
Really? You're giving Cuyler Murray 45 against St. Nick?
There's only one team that held OU under 39, and it's because OU only snapped the ball 40 times in that game. That was Army. You give Lincoln Riley the same amount of time to prepare for St. Nick as anybody else. I think that OU scores a minimum of 45 points. I just don't think they can stop.
Hollywood Brown, he's iffy at best.
They're the most balanced attack that I've seen in college football because they can do anything. Remember, Bama's defense plays so aggressive. In the interior of their defensive line, their linebackers, green dog blitzes, blah, blah, blah. Lincoln Riley's going to use that against them. I won't be shocked at all if OU has a halftime lead. In the last 3 games, Bama has been outscored 45-41 in the first half of football games. So watch out for OU early.
Forward to
you're
it.
right.
And let's hope Cuyler has a game. So he has all of these options
There you
if
go.
he has all the choices in front
Good
of him.
to have
Joel,
options, though, right?
He got options. He got 4.6. Just waiting. All you got to do is just sign your name.
Sitting there for him. Good to see you.
Yeah,
See
good
you
to see
in
you
San
guys.
Diego. We
Happy
have
New Year,
UFC
everybody.
President Dana White joining us next in
Does he owe me
studio.
anything?
We're going to ask him about John Jones, Conor McGregor, plenty more next.
No mercy.
Tomorrow night, John Jones makes his return to the octagon here in LA at UFC 232. The fight was supposed to be in Vegas, but was moved because of a failed drug test by Jones. Coverage of UFC 232 starts tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern, right here on FS1. And we're joined by UFC President Dana White. Welcome back to Undisputed.
John
Good to
Jones
have
did
you.
not fail a drug test. That's not true. He did in 2016. Tested positive for a metabolite, but
Okay.
completely different.
Okay.
The reason we came to California is because California was very intimate with his situation. This is where it went down. They were educated on what was going on, and a lot of science involved that I don't know a lot about. But yeah, he did not fail a drug test, just for the record.
Oh, thank you.
All right.
Appreciate
Oh,
that.
but that's not what the Mauler says. That's not what Gustafson says. He says he's a cheat. And he's going to knock him out.
He's fighting. He's fighting Gustafson. That's what he's supposed to say. Yeah. The guy did not do anything wrong this time. Not that John Jones hasn't done plenty wrong in the past, but this time he did not do anything wrong. You know, all the top experts, USADA, you know, these guys are all saying he did not fail a drug test. So,
So put John Jones' career in perspective from Dana White's eyes.
yeah, probably the greatest to ever do it. You know, had he stayed on track and done all the right things in his life and in his career, God knows what this guy could have accomplished. He could be, you know, the LeBron of the sport. Could be the heavyweight champion of the world and the light heavyweight champion of the world. Who knows? The guy that did take that path, you know, Daniel Cormier.
Yeah.
And Daniel Cormier is that guy. John Jones right now is the story of what could he have been. If this guy can win on Saturday night, try to pull his life together and try to put together a nice little run here, you know, with the time that he has left, you know, as a professional athlete, you never know how long that is. You know, he could go down as the greatest ever.
Has he frustrated you as much as anyone you've ever dealt with?
The most of anybody I've ever dealt with. He's so talented. When you have a guy that's so incredibly gifted and there's so many big fights out there for him, and you know, at one point in his career, he had so many endorsements and, you know, just the money he had coming in from endorsements was unbelievable. And yeah, I love the sport of fighting so much, and I love watching guys who are that talented, and to have been able to see John Jones perform the way that he could have really sucks.
What makes him so good?
You know, if you look at that family, you know,
Athlete.
2 brothers that are great NFL players, you know, both been to the Super Bowl, and John Jones, light heavyweight champion of the world, and could fight at heavyweight too. Just a very gifted, talented family. And there were questions about John Jones earlier in his career. You know, when you're the guy that hands out the beatings but has never really taken one, we never knew if John Jones had what it takes to dig down deep to come back. The first Gustafson fight, we found out that John Jones is that guy. So, yeah, I don't know what it is that makes him, other than he's an incredible athlete and he just has that thing that makes you a great fighter.
If he wins Saturday, will he? Well, I follow he and Cormier on social media. And you can't like what's going on with social media because they're making it personal. And I understand you're selling the fight, but they're getting personal, talking about slapping each other's wives on the butt. But that's neither here nor there. Could you see a situation where they fight for the heavyweight title?
Yeah, I could see them fighting again, yeah. This is the fight business, and you say a lot of nasty things in the fight business. And these two, I mean, the hatred that these two
But
have
it's real
for
for
each
them,
other
though.
is next level. You couldn't hate people worse than these two people hate each other. So, John Jones, what's going to happen for him on Saturday? He needs to win.
Does it need to be convincing?
And listen, every time John Jones wins, it's convincing. I mean, the guy is a freak of nature. He's incredibly talented. The question is, what happens when he leaves the octagon that night and goes home for the next 3 months? I mean, that's what you have to worry about with John Jones. It's not like, I guarantee you, I can guarantee you this. The fight with him and Gustafsson is going to be unbelievable.
Right.
The question is, and what I can't guarantee you, is what's going to happen when John Jones leaves that arena and goes home. Can he keep his life together? Can he, stay focused, keep training? Love to get him back summertime, get him a fight again in summer, and keep him busy.
So when your phone goes off, it's not whether or not somebody, can you bring the UFC to this venue? It's a call you're expecting about something, telling you about something John Jones has done.
It wouldn't shock me, if I get the call,
This
John
is the
Jones.
Josh Gordon question,
Yes,
right?
yes.
So you do have a women's bout on your card, and it just could be the most electrifying women's bout you have ever had. Cyborg and Amanda Nunes. Do you see some fireworks?
Yes, I think that this is going to be a very violent fight between these two. They are both, you have two of the best women in the world, 45-pound champion, 35-pound champion. They were originally supposed to fight in a company called Strikeforce years ago, and it didn't happen. Obviously, they're both a lot better now. They're both world champions. Timing is everything. It is the perfect time for this fight, and it is not only is it the biggest fight in women's history, this will absolutely determine who is the baddest woman on the planet.
Both Brazilians, they don't like each other.
Yeah, they don't like each other, but it isn't like Jones and Cormier type stuff. Cyborg thinks she's avoided her for too long and things like that. They have that kind of thing. There's no real hatred there. This isn't one of those personal type fights. But obviously, when you work your whole career to get to this point right here, and this fight determines whether you're the best ever and the baddest woman on the planet.
Wow.
There's a lot of energy that goes into
Does it go to distance?
I don't see it going to distance.
I don't either.
They both hit too hard.
I know. So, will Conor McGregor ever be that Conor McGregor again?
I hope so. I hope so. Yeah, he, when this guy buckles down and focuses, he does amazing things. So, one of the things that screws up fighting and bans and all kinds of other things is a lot of money.
Yeah.
So this kid has made a lot of money just from fighting. Now he's got his notorious whiskey. He's killing it. It's doing very well. Conor McGregor.
You made the point to us once upon a time. Once you make that purse that he made on the Floyd night,
right,
you don't want to wake up and get hit in the face anymore, right?
It's a lot harder to get punched in the face when you make that kind of money. But Conor McGregor is a real fighter to the core. I mean, this guy is a real fighter. We'll see what happens. He's still dealing with a lot of personal stuff, which money brings too.
Right.
Money brings a lot of problems, personal and professional and everything else. So once he gets all that cleared up, we'll see what happens. But the answer to your question is, I hope so.
But Khabib is a fighter.
Oh, this guy's
that's all he knows.
a beast.
But
This guy's made so much money since the Conor fight too. It's
who if he doesn't fight Conor next, who does he fight? Who does the public want to see him fight?
We got Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson.
He's got dynamite. He's electric.
That guy's incredible,
Non-stop.
and he's obviously next in line for that fight.
I mean that. Woo! But the Khabib, I told Khabib was going to beat Conor, and Skip didn't want to believe me.
Still a fan.
Behind him.
I know he's a big.
He
Conor
felt.
fan.
Did you feel that the insults that Conor levied against Khabib and his family? Did you think that he really took that personal and really wanted to punish Conor?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. 100%. Yeah, that I said at that press conference, one of the darkest press conferences I've ever been to and been a part of. But this is the fight business. This is not the people say mean things about each other when they're about to fight. It happens.
So will we ever see Floyd Mayweather Jr. venture into the octagon?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I mean, I told him, if he wants to fight again and he wants to do something like that, he's going to have to come. We went over there. Yeah. It's your turn to come over here.
Dana, Floyd is 40 plus. You can't come.
But we went over there. We went there. He's got to come here. Dana, it's only fair.
Dana,
why should we keep? First of all, most people will argue that he's one of the best of all time.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
Why do we keep going there to do what he does? You want him to fight? You want to come fight? Let's fight.
He's never kicked any. Well,
come take that whooping and make your money. Okay? Take the whooping and make your money.
But at least in boxing, it's gonna go 7, 8, 9 rounds. You know it's not gonna get out of the first. It's not gonna get out of the first minute.
I agree, and I believe many people want to see that.
That's what you want to see. Ain't no many people,
including me.
You and him especially.
I don't know. Floyd's the greatest defensive fighter ever, right? Maybe he could dance for.
Dana, will you explain to him? Ain't no amount of defense if you've never done that in your entire life. Just keep them guys up off you.
Isn't happening.
But you guys did discuss, correct? With
him
Floyd's
coming
people,
over?
yeah.
Yes.
And did you think you were getting?
I did.
Close?
I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
And he ended up with all this Japan weirdness,
It's
that's
weird.
going on over there.
Isn't this beneath his dignity?
Yeah.
Floyd's in the making money business.
Yeah.
Wherever the money is, that's where Floyd
No,
is.
he's in the. No, take that back. He's in the easy money-making business.
Even better.
UFC ain't no easy money.
Even better.
I don't care how trained you are. That's not easy money.
Right. You're right. I agree.
What would that payday be like if you could match those two in the octagon?
I think it would be just like the McGregor. Yeah. I listen. At the end of the day, I think everybody thinks the way that Shannon thinks, and he's right because he's absolutely right. But I think everybody would want to see it too. So
Yeah, they
want to
see him get
very
beat.
well.
That's why I really. That's why I think they love Conor, but people really thought Conor could beat him, and they really want to see when you're 50-0. Everybody wants to see the guy go down.
And if you think about Conor never boxing and going in, and he did a damn good job against Floyd Mayweather.
He did a very good job. Yes.
Yep.
But
Okay.
boxing is one thing, but when a guy can knee you, he can elbow you.
Listen,
he
Floyd,
can choke the life
Floyd
out
does
of you.
not have enough cars. He needs more cars, right?
Yeah, he does.
So
If Floyd get in the UFC, the only car he's going to get in is an ambulance. It may be a hearse. That's a different animal.
think of what he could prove if he actually.
You can't prove nothing laying flat on your back. You don't prove anything. Skip, you got they got a light in your eye. Like, are you okay, son? What do you prove?
Okay.
that you got guts. I don't know if he has any guts.
Well, I ain't got no guts because I ain't getting in the ring.
Huh?
Okay, we're going to take a quick break on that note. Much more with Dana when we come back.
No mercy.
UFC President Dana White is still with us. We're happy you're here.
Thank you.
UFC 232 tomorrow night here in LA, so we're looking forward to that one.
Very looking forward to it. You and Oscar. Look.
He's an idiot, isn't he?
I don't know him. You say
You're lucky.
You said competition. Say people say crazy things in competition. Do you feel this way about him because now he's in the MMA, he's in the fight business?
No, I mean, when this guy, before he ever got into MMA, he used to put on boxing events, and I used to watch his fights and promote him on social media and stuff. But he just.
You feel he took advantage of Chuck Liddell?
Yeah. It's not even that he took advantage of. First of all, Chuck Liddell fight should have never happened.
Okay.
Should have never happened. Period. Shouldn't have happened in any state, anywhere. The list goes on.
And
And
he
on.
is a friend, longtime friend of yours.
Yes,
Yeah.
I used to manage him first. Then, when we bought the UFC, he fought for me for years. But the guy's 50 years old.
Right.
No, nobody should be fighting when they're 50.
Right, correct.
It shouldn't happen. But Oscar came out and said all these things that were lies and weren't true about our business and what we pay our fighters, what we paid Chuck Liddell, and all these other things. And that was really what started the whole beef with he and I.
You guys are gonna make peace.
He's a liar. There's nothing to make peace about. The guy's a liar. He's an idiot, and he's an all-around bad guy.
Other than that, he's okay.
He's great. Yeah.
And would you say he's a phony?
He's a total phony. He's such a phony, that guy. I dislike him as much as I dislike anybody on earth. I'm not a fan of his.
Did you respect him at all as a fighter?
Oh, 100%. I mean, that was one of the things. I was doing these other shows, and everybody starts talking about him as a fighter. It's ancient history, okay? It's a long time ago. Forget about what he did in his career and all his boxing stuff. Right here, right now, the guy's a liar and just a bad guy. It drives me crazy when people try to go back, but as a fighter, it's ancient history. Who cares what he did 15 years ago fighting? He was great and all that stuff, but now he's He's a lot. I'm trying not to say bad things on TV right now.
What about a fight between Johnny Jones and Brock Lesnar?
I like it. He's got to get through Gustafsson first. This fight on Saturday is a tough fight. This fight's going to be a war. But yeah, I mean, if he gets through Gustafsson in this rematch, there are a lot of good fights out there for John Jones. You know, him and Brock Lesnar have talked about fighting for a long time. I believe that John Jones would be a great heavyweight. And obviously, there's a lot of fights for him at heavyweight. There's still a lot of good fights for him at light heavyweight.
Who would he beat him? He's run through the division. Who else you gonna put him with? If he beats Gustavo, it'll be the second time. He's whitewashed the division at the light heavy.
He has, but there's always somebody next. There's always somebody who's going to win. There's somebody next to fight, and I do believe. I mean, it's up to him. He's got to make that decision. But I believe that when you really talk about him coming back and cementing that legacy of his, going to heavyweight would be a great move for him.
Give us one last quick thought. Big picture. Could you ever see, years from now, UFC eclipsing the NFL in popularity?
Well, you know, if you look at what we're doing right now, I mean, globally, the only thing that is like this sport is soccer, you know? And yeah, we're going to continue to grow the sport. The sport is always going to be based off stars. You know, who's there at the time, whether it's the Conor McGregors, the Ronda Rouseys, the John Joneses, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, everybody gets fighting, everybody loves it, and it works everywhere, in every country, all over the world, and we're going to keep building it.
Boy, it's growing. Dana, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate your time.
I got Jones tonight.
Coverage of UFC 232 starts tomorrow night, 6:30 Eastern, right here on FS1. We'll be right back.
No mercy.
We've got some breaking news. The Athletic is reporting Rajon Rondo will have surgery on his injured hand and miss about a month. The Lakers lost last night without both Rondo and LeBron. So, Shannon, what is your reaction to this news?
Lonzo's just going to have to build off what he did last night, Skip.
Is
and
correct.
now with Rondo out, with LeBron out, basically this is the team from last year.
Yep.
Lonzo, KCP, Koosman, Ingram, and Hart.
Okay.
That's it.
Yep.
So they're going to have it's not looking good. I mean, Rondo, I don't know if it's the same hand that he missed earlier because he broke his hand earlier,
I think
Skip.
it is.
So
I don't know if they're
believe it's
connected
right
at all.
hand, yeah.
Yep.
And this is not good.
It is not good. And it's your shooting hand, and it's going to set him back further.
I'm not talking about I'm talking about this is not good for the Lakers.
Well,
because the Lakers are back originally where they started from last year.
I don't wish injury upon anyone, but this is great for Lonzo Ball. This is the opportunity that I didn't think he was going to get with Rondo and LeBron. So now it's, for a little while here, it's his team. And I think he played his best game as a Laker over the 2 years as a Laker last night. And I think he will build on that. And I think this is the perfect opportunity for him to become, so to speak, an NBA man.
Yeah, well, he's going to have to understand that there's more to running the point guard position than getting the ball off the rim and pushing pace. He's going to have to understand how to run an offense, Skip, in the half-court set.
Yeah, and there's more than just flipping the ball to the wing and going the other way and standing over in the corner.
Exactly.
Right?
But hopefully these young guys have played with LeBron long enough, and a lot of LeBron traits and qualities have rubbed off
They
on
have.
him.
I
and
agree.
so they'll be able to hold this thing down until LeBron comes back. Because I do believe LeBron will be back before Rondo. Because if they come back at the same time, Skip, this thing could be ugly.
Well, he's Iron Man, LeBron James, so
Man,
you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if he played tonight.
he's not playing tonight.
Why
He's gonna
not?
miss
Did you already tell him no?
Maybe.
Just chatting on the side.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Getting the
I ain't
latest.
telling you anything. What me and LeBron talk about is confidential.
Yeah.
But anyway, I expect Lonzo to play really, really well. He's been playing well.
He has.
Keep it going. You don't have to be James Harden. You don't
Just-
have to be Russ.
Just be transcendent.
Ooh,
Right?
that word.
No mercy.
Thank you for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Keep an eye out for the weekend edition of the podcast tomorrow morning, featuring this week's best segments. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Fox Sports. One of one.